Our second match of the day is on its way. The third week of Counter-Strike competition in the Gfinity Elite Series. Infused taking on Reason. And we can go backstage to Jackie now to get the picks info.
Cheers, Tom. That's right. We're backstage. It's all buzzing. We've got, of course, Neil M down here. He's joined by Red Snake, representing the Infused banner. And then over on the other side, for Reason, is going to be Cray, the man that is always doing damage. But will he be able to pull out on top in the vetoes? That is going to be the question.
Absolute cuckoo. So Infused banning first.
Ban Cobble.
We'll ban Nuke.
Ban Overpass.
We'll ban Cash.
Infused pick. Inferno.
Neil,
Maybe.
what I like though is Neil hasn't brought his fidget spinner there for this
That
moment.
could be the luck.
Yeah.
So Team Infused banning Cobble straight away.
That's it. That's what
That's
they needed.
not a surprise. Obviously, they beat Reason, beat Epsilon on it. Nuke ban is actually a Reason preferred ban, as in like they don't like playing that map, so they just get rid of it.
Exactly.
Overpass, not surprising. That's Reason picked that in week 1, even though they lost on it. They did pick it. So Cash Nuke ban from Reason. Not really surprising. In my head, I had Inferno and Train possibly being picked here, so I think it'll be Train picked from Infused, if it's not Inferno.
I just wonder if they're going to shake hands after every single map ban. Yeah, that'll do.
Okay.
So that's the Inferno pick from Infused. And then Reason have the choice of Train or Mirage. Mirage, okay.
Straight away. So what are we thinking about that for the Reason? What's the every time I say Reason, what is the thoughts behind that from Reason?
Well, as far as Reason going, these are pretty simple maps. You know, these aren't maps that require an enormous amount of tactics. Everyone really knows what's going on. So for Reason, it works quite well because they haven't got the huge amount of synergy, and that should play into their favour. Infused, they just need to play their game essentially. They don't need to do anything funky, anything interesting. It just needs to be simple CS. Play the basics, and they should be fine on this one. Unless Reason can really come alive, they have to play a little bit more puggy than normal on this one. But that could work in their favour. Who knows?
Yeah, one thing worth noting, both teams have played Inferno so far, and both teams have been absolutely demolished by Envy on this map.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they've watched each other's demos in that situation and been like, well, Envious just ran at them and killed them, so do we do the same? But I don't think that'll happen, obviously. But the Mirage pick from Reason is not surprising, as Harold mentioned. It's much more of a pug map. They can do what they want, kind of thing. And they would have probably usually picked Train in that situation if they had their regular 5. But obviously they don't, so they're just picking based on what they have right now, which is obviously 5 players who can run around. They know Mirage in and out. Yeah. There's no advanced basics or anything like that, so it's nice and easy, really.
So what are the key factors for each team to win today, Harold, would you say, for Infused? Simply just do the basics?
Yes. Basics, yes, boys. All they have to do, play it easy, play it simple, keep it reasonable, and honestly, they should be fine. The ball is in the court of Reason here. They have to step up. They have to find some way around it, and like Ben said, they genuinely could just go with the strat of run towards the enemy, see if you can get the frags, and that genuinely could work. Yeah, I think they have to test the water a lot. Reason need to figure out what works and what doesn't, and they need to do that very quickly. If they give Infused any room to move with, they're going to be in trouble because, Infused, although they haven't been a team for a huge amount of time, they have that synergy over Reason. So if they play their game, if they play simple, this should be pretty sound. I'll give them
what about yourself, SEO? What are the key factors for today's maps?
With Reason, it's kind of difficult because they've got to stand in and everything. I'm not sure if I think Thomas is back for week 5 or week 6, so it's kind of hard to judge, like, do they fully prep with Mace, or do they just kind of go into it, just accept it how it goes?
Yeah.
If they're accepting how it goes, they shouldn't be that bothered, but they should be focusing on a win here, really. Like, that's the only way they make playoffs.
I can't believe Thomas has gone on holiday in a
Cuba.
to Cuba, a vital time.
Yeah.
But anyway, nonetheless, both of these teams have got 1 draw, both of these teams have got 1 loss. I'm going to put you on the spot. Predictions for this matchup, Team Infused versus Reason Gaming.
I'm a nice fence kind of guy, so
you love a fence, a sturdy fence.
Yeah.
It's not even your
Strong
side. You didn't even need to replace it, but you kept replacing that side of the fence. 1-1 again from SEO. Come on, give me something. Give me something, Harold.
2-0 Infused.
Okay, there you go. Those are the predictions. They will appear on the screen as they do with the magic. What we're going to do right now, for the first time, I'm going to welcome her to the show. It's Elite Series. Pansy, so lovely to have you on the show. Are you excited about today?
Oh, yeah. Look, I've got to say, I'm a little disappointed there's a stand-in, because I'd like to see these 2 teams in their prime, right? I want to see the best match possible. But always fun to see different circumstances kicking in and seeing how well they kind of deal with it, I guess. That's a big testing point for them. So, yeah, super excited to see this matchup, and, of course, a lot more to come, and it's great to be here.
And Tom Biz, loving the Gfinity badge there. You got your pin.
Yeah.
Obviously, if people want to come down, they can get their hands on one of those pins.
Or that pin, specifically.
This one in particular, if you could leave it, you will leave it back, won't you? You're not going to take that one home, are you? OK, that's a thought I like.
Yeah, sure.
How are you both seeing this matchup today? Infused or Reason? Which one would you put your bets on?
Infused. I don't know why there's any sitting on fences, unless there's some enjoyment found there. Like, I'm sorry, you've got a full 5 team, even if they are new.
I disagree.
Oh, come off it. Why?
I disagree because Herald is always wrong.
Yeah.
So you have to go Reason. That's the way you have to go.
That is a good fact.
Is that literally the logic?
Not very
Yeah.
good reason, though, is it?
You can't be right.
He is.
But based on that, bit of strong-willed at you, SEO, are you going to get off the fence? Are you going to pick a team, or are you just
No. I'm sticking to my guns.
OK.
He's lost his chair.
That beige as a shirt, just right down there.
I'm loving the banter today from the casters and the panel. Listen, guys, it's going to be a great matchup. We're expecting a better CT side, potentially, with these two maps. Is that possible on the two maps that we've got?
That's a look of faith.
I don't know. The way we've seen things go, even CT-sided maps have become a bit more T-sided with a lot of these teams, especially like with what Herald said. I agree with the sort of puggy style idea. Like, I think they're going to be looking to try and go aggressive, and I think even on Inferno we could see some much more T-sides just because it's such a rotational map. And I think either side will just look to try and isolate that.
So just headshots galore. That's what we're looking for.
That's Counter-Strike.
That is beautiful. Well, listen, basically, Pansy, Tom Biz, is all over to you. It's Infused versus Reason game. Have a great one.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I think it's summed up pretty well on the desk that we do have kind of two very different positions for these teams, of course. Reason, you know, I think on a different day we could have had a different story between this game, but they are coming in with a stand-in. It is going to be a little bit different, T-side, CT-side, no matter where you put it. How do you think they fare in this?
Well, I think especially because, well, on week 1 when I was watching, one of the big things that got them a map versus Epsilon was actually Thomas was doing really well. He actually picked up a secondary AWP, and although Cinder was probably the best player, he had like big impact rounds. So to remove him from this roster, obviously not have a lot of practice with the new player, it's only been, what, maybe a week? It's just not looking good. I do still think that they're going to put up a decent fight, though, and I think on Mirage, like very basic smokes.
Everyone knows enough on Mirage to a degree, unless there's something very specialist. But even then, there's only so many varieties of things you can look at. You can almost always cover it. But it is that kind of CT side, which has seemingly been a bit of a theme throughout today so far, is there just seems to lack a little bit of synergy. So I'm kind of curious if that's going to apply on these. Inferno, again, CT side, it's quite hard to find nuances on. We've seen a couple of teams doing it, a couple of, you know, I guess banana aggression is something that certain teams do better than others. I guess you get apps aggression if you maybe look at your Fnatic to a degree, if JW fancied it. But I don't know if we're going to get that here. I don't know if we're going to see that confidence to make these plays.
Well, I think the big thing is as well is a lot of the plays rely on high levels of utility, at least over to the B site. If you even lose the pistol, you can go into sort of your 4th round buy where you don't have all the smokes, you don't have maybe the incendiaries necessary to sort of throw these deep nades and take control where it's necessary sometimes, because a lot of teams nowadays, you try and sit back on the sites, you're going to get entryed, especially in these sort of matches where, okay, maybe you're not the sort of best in terms of synergy and rotations might be a little bit slow. You need to be going aggressive. You need to be taking control and almost taking the fight to the T's and not letting them have portions of the map.
And this is the one thing I do like about the UK scene as well, because we're having a bit of a discussion about some of the players here, and you were getting me up to speed on a lot of these teams, because I've been a little bit away from the UK esports scene for a while, but it's good to see a bit of a formatted league come back in with this sort of environment. And let's bear in mind, Reason and Infused, these are some of the best known teams in the UK. They've got the most prolific histories out there. Screw Team Dignitas, all good and well, but these guys were there as well, and they just didn't quite get to that same level. They stayed within the UK. So I don't know where these two teams stand overall, but I think this is where I can start getting my opinion down. But in the bigger scheme, in the grand scheme of at least the UK CS scene, where do you put these two right now?
Well, in terms of like where they've been playing, like at least recently, you sort of look at maybe like UK Masters and stuff like that, and neither of the teams have started particularly strong. I think we've got them same results-ish. No, I think Reason are doing a little bit better. Like they're 0-3-1, not really anything impressive. And you can say the same sort of at the other side for Infused, like they're 0-1-3. So like in terms of wins, it's really not going well for them at all. I think Reason are not in the Premiership, so a lot of the sort of UK stuff, you say that's where you look. Like you look at Prem, you look at these sort of places, and they're not there at all. So, and I think in the previous season, the 5th out of 8 coming in for Infused. So not like really at the top iterations either way.
Well, we are going to find out how well this unfolds. Reason, of course, going to start out on the CT side. Infused, if I'm not mistaken, won the knife and actually chosen to go T. So looking to exert that dominance very early on here. Maybe just send a message through and also punish Reason. It's very hard to play those CT sides if you don't have your full 5.
Yeah, already seeing a little bit of aggression coming out. As said, like one of the things we look for is sort of taking that banana control, and T's have got it without any real struggle, but they're sending a lot of their players over towards apps. In fact, if you look at the CT side at the moment, they've got 3 players over towards B, and the remaining 2 players are very passive over on the A side.
I guess it's which book do you read from? This map is incredibly hard to play retake on. Do you just gamble it on B, but then you find no information? So again, it's a weird one the Reason are going for. I don't mind it, but you're putting a lot of faith in Mace to do something about this. There's already 4 players on the site. He's so overwhelmed. He can't do anything about it. Fry just flies in, gets him down. And, well, you've already got Cray locked off. So you've got a 4-man retake here, which is certainly powerful. It can happen. But the off-plant positions with 5 alive for Infuse are going to be so good.
Yeah, they had the one stand-in aggressive in the site, and the rest of the players are going to look to try and retake as a team. Cray can't quite find the shots. Now, they do have a smoke and a kit, but with 5 players on the site, they need to start finding some kills. So far, not so good, as it will be Fry to actually find one more and leaving it just down as the T's just wipe them out one by one, and not a single kill coming in for the CTs.
As soon as you get that nice kind of after-plant position in the pit, especially coupled with even just 3 players, you can get a lovely 3-man stack towards that sort of area. I guess the triangle of death is how people like to refer to it as. You also can get it on B as well, you know, the new box, dark corner, someone over by, you know, maybe coils. It's so hard to play back into it. So with 5 alive, you do no damage, you know you're in for a rough ride, especially I think they had maybe a smoke and that was their lot. You've got to have a lot to work back in normally. So I don't know if I fully enjoy passive CT retakes coming back in towards A, but again, if they'd gone B, it might have been a different picture. It could have been a completely different round, but good start out here for Infused, of course, getting themselves, you know, a little bit of, I guess you take away some of those nerves, don't you? You kind of shake it off a little bit. You start feeling a little bit more confident about coming into this matchup.
Yeah, the thing is as well, the way they looked to actually play that round was, on the CT side at least, was, okay, stand in, you're dedicated, you're in, you're sort of like the cannon fodder in a way, and then the rest of us, the team, will try and retake, and I don't know. In a lot of situations on certain maps, maybe you can do that, like on Train, where you have maybe one
Mirage
person.
as well.
Yeah.
Don't mind on Mirage at all.
But on Inferno, the A site's normally the heavier presence. Maybe not in Pistol. I understand in Pistol having 3 players over towards B, because you do have very quick rushes coming in. But the second there wasn't a quick rush, they needed to rotate someone off.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, the problem with Inferno is it's one of the hardest retake maps. Flat out, you talk to anyone. I think you know there's the 2 kind of phrases you'll often hear between pro players is, oh, it's, you know, the hardest to retake, or if you don't have money, if your economy gets hindered in any way, you can't play CT side. You're limited on T side. You can still make things happen with maybe a Tech 9 and a smoke or so. You can play out of apps. We've seen that become more prevalent, but I don't know if we're going to see that on the T sides, at least in this matchup, because they're relatively complex. But you kind of need that support system there, and it's one of the maps that just punishes you if you don't get it.
Yeah, I'm guessing got a little bit of a problem or something going on at the moment, or just a pause. Maybe they really didn't.
I have 99 problems, okay? But CS isn't one right now. It is a technical timeout, so hopefully they just get themselves fixed up. But I'd rather it happen now than, you know, midway through a game you start losing momentum, you get frustrated. It's the first round. It's fine. Sit out for a second, get it done, get it fixed up. Because you don't want to start blaming things either. You don't want to get halfway through a game and go, oh, something wrong with my mouse the whole time.
Well,
oh,
like,
that's it. It's like, you might as well do it now. I'd much prefer them just to get it sorted.
Well, yeah, and the T's, the ones who may normally lose some sort of advantage, they're going in with an inherent advantage with having a better buy. So the only real thing would be whether or not we're going to see the CTs maybe save a little bit more money. Because for me personally, in these sort of rounds, like we see a lot of teams force, like all the time. It's pretty much the norm to see investment in pistols.
A couple have started to back off from it. There was
on Inferno,
big and
I like
such,
it.
isn't there? Yeah.
On Inferno, I like it. Maybe go for like a Deagle and not armor behind it, and then just make sure you have the extra utility. An Incendiary in that 4th round buy, for me, is like the biggest thing.
Paramount, yeah.
Just having that banana control early on, the deep smoke, just to take it away. And because especially when we looked at the way their T's even played the pistol, they didn't particularly need banana control, but they had it if they wanted it. There was no aggression at all. And that's another thing, having 3 players on B and nobody peeking at all.
I think they had a little early look. I think that was it. They had a small look down there and then just instantly back. And it's like, well, you either commit and you kind of work your way down, you play at the top, you kind of put someone maybe behind sandbags. Even though it always gets checked on, you can at least get information. You can, you know, do something with it. You can kind of play in your other teammate. But at that, I just didn't see much. It's a little flat. Is what I'm saying. This is the first round, of course. This is all we get to go off, so it's not like we can give.
We haven't learned anything.
Super in depth anything yet. But no, I kind of expect some decent level-headed play coming out from Infused, just purely because when I look at these lineups, I see Aaron, I see Red Snake. And for me, I remember those names from when I watched these guys, very at the early days of CSGO and, going back to previous iterations. So for me, it's like, well, I don't think these guys will get as nervous on this stage in these pressure games. They should have the focus there. And we'll see if that comes through down the line. For now, they're in a good position. Of course, 1-0 up. Infused leading on the T side, but everything's fixed. Everything's all good. And we'll see if maybe the CT side fancies a little go towards Banana. But already you can see that early Molotov to allow control, to push players like Red Snake up, who's on that Mac 10.
Yeah, we do see pretty much full investment coming out from the CT side as well, other than Karma, who's likely to be saving for the AWP. Now, CT side at the moment, they've gone for the same sort of setup we saw before. A little bit more presence from Cray actually on the A side this time, not just a complete abandonment of his teammate. And then still 3 players. It's a sort of semi-stack, just waiting to see if they can catch players out over on B.
Yeah, all I'm going to do is in this round is look at Red Snake and Aaron, see how much money they can farm, and basically then the other 3 with the rifles, don't lose them. Simple as that. For Reason, you want anything you can. It's complete just fair game. If you get any gun away, brilliant. That's a nice bonus. You do have head armor invested here, so a relatively sizable amount's been invested by Reason, so they do want to do as much as possible, but again, this stack. If you start feeling out how they like to play this, if this is maybe not necessarily a go-to, but a look that they often try and bring out, if you can read this and then just start wrapping CT, splitting up, doing a couple of players through apps, you just pincer in towards pit and sight, it's impossible to hold, but that's a lot of reading into the game, maybe over-researching almost if they actually did watch demos back, but they're doing it so far very nicely. The player on balcony could be in real trouble if they take a wider peek on it. And here we go, let's see if he does manage to survive. Eagle's going to come out and, well, so far it's gone about as well as expected.
Yeah, nice flash, but it doesn't matter. They take both heads off anyway, and well, CT side now, there's not really any point. They might as well just hold on to what they have, try and do something similar in the next round with the pistols, maybe go a bit more aggressive and try and take some heads off. And from the T side perspective, okay, maybe send the Mac 10 out to try and farm a little bit. Other than that, just hold on to what you got.
They've done fine. And the best thing here for Infused as well, and I guess the worst thing for Reason, even when they do finally get to their buy, if they don't get any kills on the board, if they keep this very low kill sort of impact game going through, their money's even going to be limited when they do finally get that buy. There's going to be a couple of pieces missing maybe here and there, maybe a kit not quite there, maybe an AWP not going to quite, there's always that slight issue if you're not getting any kills at the start, and Infused, they're in free farm mode. They're great in this. They've kept a little bit of utility back, a couple of flashes, don't need to invest into too much. They know the next round is going to be even lighter as well. This so far is very good and very, very poor showings from Reason, just alone in damage factor. I don't expect them to win the rounds. I expect a little bit of damage to come through, hopefully.
Yeah, and the big thing so far has just been they've been so passive on A that they don't have any rotations. It's just not possible. No. Now, I sort of understand it in that round where they're just trying to catch out a couple of players and maybe gamble, but at the same time, you can go for the polar opposite and just go for info plays. Like, find something out, maybe try and stack a site instead.
They're doing the exact I was like, oh, this looks like a replay from last round, Tom. And we having a look back.
They're at least taking something in apps. So they have a bit more information. And you've got Cinder as well, he's rotated, so they have an additional armored player at least, but not expecting too much here.
I like the playthrough up, so you've got a small chance of maybe trading into this. Getting the info on one, and no trade instantly available. Mace, a little slow on this. This is when you die, you look at your team and like, you weren't up for trading that? No? Okay, cool. But Mace can maybe work something out now. That could be quite nice for him. But overall, the hit's coming in towards B. In the end, Aaron's found it anyway, and Red Snake kind of forced in towards this one, but does very nicely. And just need to check on Dark here.
Oh, okay. Hoodlum gets one, but it is only the Mac 10. He did his job. That was it. He just had to run around, basically be a bit of a pain, push out all of the positions, and then just make sure those AK stay standing. He's not going to really want that Mac 10 into the next round. Some people do risk it because there's no head armor a lot of the time. That's one of the sort of skimps you have to go into that 4th round by. But no, other than that, pretty basic rounds coming out from Infused. As said, they've just been feeling out the map, getting control, and executing onto the site.
That's all I want to see is decent, I say decent T sides, but that's kind of, I guess, if you throw your mind up to tier 1, they go through the kind of basics, they go through the checklist, almost second nature, and when they don't, that's where it stands out. But here, they need to keep that in mind. They need to do the basics. You need map control. You need to tender for Banana early. You need to show presence towards apps, really spam it out to ensure that CTs don't get over-aggressive. They don't get that kind of easy map control or information for free. You've got to be able to do this stuff. So I'm hoping we see that from Infused. That's all I want to see is, good play. That's quite simply it. So again, I'm still learning how these players and teams are starting to form up and kind of come through this league, because you start something off and then you go through the entire season, you end up with a new look. But yeah, this is an interesting buy coming out from Cinder.
Oh.
Why have you done this?
Not a fan.
I don't think anyone is.
Oh, there's a few.
COG Red?
Emily, yeah, she's a fan. Drove me up the wall in the past. But there's the Molotovs at least. So they do have that early presence. The same will come out from the Ts. Haven't actually taken any control as of yet. And Karma's actually over towards B with the AWP. So if he can get set up, they can actually go for a bit of a early rotation back and have that sort of 4A presence. Now, in the early round at least, we have seen presence out from Infused. They've taken control of the apartments. Not really going too aggressive as of yet, and there is a boost coming in as well.
Trying to work out which smoke this is. I'm not sure if it's a deeper one towards CT Arch, but it's around that marker anyway. They're essentially going to maybe pinch towards quad and then play out of that off the back of it.
Boost is
Now Hoodlum, yeah, but that flash isn't bad at all. But there's the check. That's the mind I expect from someone like Red Snake, to be able to check for these things and not allow it to spiral too far away. But now Mace is in trouble. 4 players just knocking on the door. Good crossfire though. Craze there finally. We're seeing Reason lock this one down for now. Aaron's got to go big, or it's now finally the first round on the board for Reason.
Yeah, 1v3. He's very low on health as well, down to just 34. Bomb on the site is not going to be helping him at all. Getting that back is impossible. He just has to go out firing, try and take down as many players. Now, they made a lot of money in the last couple of rounds, so in terms of cash, he's absolutely fine. But to try and find someone here is going to be very, very difficult. They've got a passive hold over towards Arch. Karma just waiting for a player to cross. He does actually have a smoke, but that would give away his angle. So throwing that down is unlikely, and checking into Arch, that is pretty slim. There's so many angles to actually cover. He is actually going to go for it, but it doesn't matter. Karma will finish things off. 3 players alive for the CT side is a decent start into the buy rounds, but the Ts are definitely going to be buying back in.
That was a lovely crossfire setup on the site. You can see it here. Crate playing off Mace very well as well. Both of them. Nice little bit of positioning. Sadly for Infused, timing not quite there, but we do see the ult coming out, as you said. Fine to buy here. They've done well in the first couple of rounds. They've been get themselves certainly on the board, so a really nice purchase coming through. On the other side, decent enough, they kept a good couple of players alive, so thankfully for them, they can get a good purchase for themselves, and Karma's going for something big. That's a lot of players. He's going to be under pressure now if they do try and pressure this one up further towards the top, but they don't. And actually, there's a challenge coming back in from Reason. They're not backing away from this now.
Yeah, Cinder, one of their heavy hitters over the last couple of weeks, is going to be hiding back. Now, he doesn't really have much support here, so he has to try and isolate them. The flash actually catches the Ts more than the CT side, so that's going to slow them down quite a bit. Rotation already coming out from Cray, and there's the peek from Karma. Finds one, looks for another through the wall, doesn't quite manage to connect, but it is quite a prominent wall bang to come in. Cinder still just waiting as they push in, looks for the shots, finds Red Snake, who goes through the smoke alone, and a second flash is absolutely perfect. The shots may miss a little bit, but just teamwork coming out at the moment from Reason. It's shot down. There's a couple of low players. Fry trying to push in. But he's 1v5.
That is awkward as hell from Infused. And now you've got to go up against it. 2 players certainly could be picked up here for Fry, but has to get past the first test, which will be Cray. Molly comes in. Now you know you're kind of screwed. He does have a smoke, so he could have put that one out and tried to play through it, but he went for the fight and he loses out. Cinder going to shut it down. And, well, I've got to say, credit where it's due. The flashes coming through on Banana then basically allowed that entirety, the whole thing to happen. Because the T side, they had mollies. Look at this now. 3 mollies left up here. Good couple of flashes. They could easily push Cinder out of the position. But for now, you can see those flashes coming through and through and through. By the end of it, 3 players there. Reason putting players in the right place pretty much. I'm surprised that Infused are kind of playing like this. They didn't fully commit, but then they also didn't have presence anywhere else on the map. So again, I'm kind of curious what their game plan is. If they're going to put all 5 up Banana, but do it slowly, how do you not expect the CTs to read into it somehow?
And why buy 3 Molotovs if none of them are going to sandbags? Like, that's madness. That's just such an easy position to clear. It forces him into the open. And yeah, the flashbangs helped, but he would have been dead. He had 1 HP towards the end. So just some mistakes that shouldn't be used. Like, if you're going to buy utility, at least use it. Like, that would be nice. But either way.
I'm trying to think of if maybe they had a set piece towards a site that they like to kind of do the carpet bomb almost of the whole B site covenant, but still it's worthwhile to put one to the corner if you're having trouble with it. But again, I like this. At least they've kind of defaulted to begin with, and they're falling back to, again, this sort of B hit. Now, there's no stack there instantly, but I'm wondering if Cray's going to start getting a little itchy, starting to read into the game and want to get over towards that B side. Molly goes in. That's going to do wonders. Cinder, though, gets a little ahead of himself, but how does he still come with one? Good stuff between Red Snake and Mick to at least kind of power through, but by now they're down to 3, and they need to get that bomb towards the site.
Yeah, Trials actually goes up in the flames as well, which will help them nicely into that 3v3 retake, but they picked up weaponry, which is important. A couple of players were only on pistols, and now the retake of the B side is going to be difficult. They've got a decent amount of utility onto Mace, though, so he could clear a couple of angles. It's going to go in. First frag found. Peak has to come out from Red Snake. Somehow stays alive long enough, but it's all onto Fry, and he's gone as well. Hoodlum and Co will do the retake as well, and Reason are going to get themselves a third.
Some of the things I'm seeing, Tom.
Team Ace. Isn't that nice?
That's not what I was talking about. That's how I feel. If that just happened to me. 3-3 now. Infused money has been pretty much ripped away to a smaller degree. They can still get some sort of purchase hit. Red Snake going pretty heavy into the buy, under 2k now, but it's fine. They've got a fair bit of money building up throughout them. They'll be okay at the end. But on the other side, Reason now getting very well set. Considering they had an incredibly rocky start, they lost out on the pistol. They looked very definitive for Infused. They bounded back very nicely. And I've got to say, I like these deep smokes. Could allow for CT aggression. Not going to go for it, but it does kind of isolate the rest of Infused, who are all in second mid, working their way up towards the apartments with the, I guess, the molly, the smoke, and the flash there on Red Snake. He'll be the one setting this up, of course, in-game leader. And a bit of a support player, I guess you could say, to a degree.
Yeah.
Already going to start trying to vie for some control. I wonder if this smoke's maybe going to go down towards pit side. Maybe sit by the cart. No, just a close one towards quad. And they're just going to go on this, okay? This is an interesting one.
Yeah, they're wrapping around. Cray is going to be in position to actually try and catch off the players as they make their way past. They've only got one flashbang, so it needs to be used very well, but the Molotov will actually be thrown in. Wouldn't have forced him off the angle, but they're trying to wrap. Only one player over towards the B side for the T's, going up Banana, but Karma well positioned. He knows what's going on. The rotation, though, is fairly slow from the A players, making their way back up, but Karma's got a lot to do and he misses the shots. That'll be an AWP into the hands, and Aaron's managed to get himself 2, leaving it into a 4 versus 3 as they will be coming up Banana. The aggression not going to pay off for Fry, and Cray's going to get one more.
That was such a nice play towards B then. That wrap through CT was absolutely perfect. You could see the hesitation on Reason to actually try and play back in for it, but they made up their mind. They went up Banana. They've got the slow play coming out from Hoodlum through CT, but Aaron's got a really nice spot. Now, it's annoying to check that deep on him, but still Hoodlum wins it. And now down to Trials. Well, that's gone pretty poorly in the end. Finding one is not enough. And I love the idea. I love the theory. But the execution, when it comes down to the very end, just falls away from them.
Yeah, it seems like maybe after plants are a little bit more of a problem, because actually getting onto the site, they've been doing very well, finding the openings on Banana in the previous round, taking down both players with just trades, and getting into, what, a 3v3 and then a 4v3, and losing both without really doing too much damage to the CT side either is a little bit of a worry, especially, like, you look at the position, for example, Aaron, he should be hitting that shot. Like, he has the inherent advantage there, and ends up actually being taken down by Hoodlum, and that changes it in the end.
You see the CT's getting a little more confident now. They went for a mid-peak, got flashed off it, but I like that. I'd rather Reason kind of try and put their foot down on this matchup, not allow Infused to feel like they've got a shot back in, even though they are getting close. It's pretty frustrating to lose those retakes, or when you've got the bomb down and you're in those after plants. So for Infused, just, you know, try and grind through it, but I hope the Reason try and make it hurt, make them feel bad. You know, you're playing against a team who've got to stand it. You shouldn't be losing out, but nice deep banana control being exerted by Reason again. Cinder can work his way down. Deep smoke goes in, and that's the first frag found. So already you've got Infused put into a bit of a corner.
Yeah, and I think they've got the AWP set up as well. It might even be boosted, just waiting over towards that banana spot, so there can be a quick rotate to A if necessary. Hoodlum, he's been above before, now looks to switch his spot a little bit. Has support from Cray, but it looks like he's been spotted out, and they have clearly seen Hoodlum. He's taking a lot of damage just while sitting back. A fourth player does now rotate in, so it's all down to the AWP. If they look to switch things up, but with 45 seconds, it does look like the T's are getting ready to execute on A.
I like this, so they've just left Karma over by B, and he's fine. As long as they don't allow that wrap again to come in towards CT Arch, which they shouldn't do. You've got 2 players there. They should be fine. Nice positioning here, allowing MCK or Mick, however you want to refer to him as, up and over. Gets a little bit of a look towards Pit, but that victory there, Red Snake finding Cray, is going to be big. This puts it now towards Cinder's hands, and he actually loses out, but time, 25 seconds. They still need to go towards A, and there's 2 players in Pit.
Yeah, it's all going to be down to Hoodlum. He's got to try and deny this plant. Sprays, finds one. Already running onto the site, and he'll be taken down. Leaves it onto Karma with an AWP on a retake. He'll have to find a kill very quickly for this to be possible. Gonna peek in, looking around the corner, spots nobody, and the afterplants are very passive at the moment from the T's, and rightly so. Don't need to show anything in this situation, and because of that, Karma has to fall away.
No, I like that plant as well, just purely, I think it was big doing against Cloud9 recently, and it caught them off so many times trying to save in towards CT, because with the bomb planted on that side of the wall on A, you still get killed on the other side of it, even on fairly decent HP, so I kind of like that switch up. But let's kind of go back to that CT Arch wrap that's suddenly starting to work for Infused. It feels like that's their answer so far, even a very late hit towards it. They're down to the last one, I guess, 30 seconds around that marker before they got the bomb down. By the time they got it planted, they're in good after plant positions. MCK then delivered massively for them.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of risky moments, though, in that push. Like Cinder coming in from behind, like him not really doing too much there. That could have been a big moment. He could have taken down 2, 3, because they didn't really check the angle properly. It was sort of a spin-around headshot that took him out. So still very close. Now the money's going to be fully invested for Reason. So they're very close to being reset over on that CT side. And as mentioned at the beginning, we talk how important utility is and how, for them at least, it looks like having that AWP as part of their setup is massive. Karma spots the head, but doesn't quite manage to find himself the shot. And, well, the aggressive peak, he's going to actually play that more rotational role now as he goes into apps.
But I like his fluidity. It's annoying to play against. He's been at B, he's now been at mid, he's now playing apps. I think it's refreshing to see an AWP being that, you know...
The JW style.
Exactly, just switch up position. Device on overpass CT side. He's everywhere. It feels like you can't get away from him. I like that sort of play. I think it's nice to see. It's something that you don't often see at a level that's not tier 1 as well. So credit to Karma for being pretty much everywhere. And if he's got Pangya in his name because of that weird golf game he used to be able to play, even more credit to him.
I hate that I actually get that reference as well. I actually know what that is.
Yep. I liked it. It was a weird game, but, you know, it is what it is. But if that is the reason, he's my new favourite player. 53 seconds remain. And I prefer this from Hoodlum. If he can post up here and just be a real nuisance and deny that CT Arch wrap, it might take Infused out of that comfort zone, but surely they change up now. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over, I guess, without expecting a response. So hopefully they go through a checklist and there is something prepared for, okay, what if someone's close?
Oh, this is bad though for Hoodlum. Going to be forced out of position. MCK, they've actually gone in at this time, but somehow Hoodlum manages to get the kill. Karma on the site. He's got to do a lot with this AWP, trying to duck and weave and gets taken down instead. It's MCK once again finding those opening kills. And now the remaining 2 players, Cinder is very far away. Cray is available, but he'll have to solo push if he wants to find something, but does actually manage a kill. Doesn't have a kit, however, so he needs his teammate to get here fast.
How is he allowed to get that? How are you allowing that to be an untradeable way back into this? Let's have a look at these after plant positions now. They're going to adjust, both getting positions that favor playing in towards the short push coming through. Aaron sprays in, he does get one, great stuff! And MCK to close it well. That guy is coming to his own. He's not delivered once now, but twice, and it's all in these situations where they need the kills to come in and be delivered to get these CTs off the site, just get that final push through. He is right there.
Yeah, no, his entry kills have been phenomenal so far, especially considering that was what they sort of struggled with the first few rounds, was actually just finding that pick. And the second they do that, it just grants them more control. Granted, they did actually lose the sort of player over towards Arch anyway, and Hoodlum probably should have gone down. But in the grand scale of things, they now reset the economy of Reason. It's just going to be pistols. Can't really afford to invest much more. They do have a flashbang, which I always like to see. I like to see a flashbang picked up to maybe make some sort of play with it. It doesn't seem to have achieved anything, but it's $200.
Exactly. It's a really small investment, smaller than a P250 upgrade, and it's just that chance, right? You catch up one guy with an AK just off guard. Feels good, but what feels even better is a Deagle. Hoodlum's going to deliver that bullet to the brain of Red Snake. And now 4v4. You can see Reason trying to just kind of stack up almost in duos, just going to put themselves in pairs and just hope they get more done. You don't expect to win these rounds, and you know, unless you do something horrific, basically on the T side. It's unforced errors at that point. So again, Hoodlum.
Spoke too soon.
Aaron, why are you doing this? Why are you down to 3 players now, Infused? Why is this allowed? Mace now can just fall back. He can now play in Cinder. I hate this. I hate this so much, Tom. It's making me very uncomfortable watching this maybe go away. But thankfully, Infused just vaguely remember how to play CS. But they don't check the corners. And Mace gets the bomb down. It's all gone terribly wrong. But an AK now to hand gets ripped away. Fry saves the day. But what on earth was that?
Well, yeah, that's already a successful round. 3 players dropped. Nice amount of damage done by the CT side. The Ts won't be able to build up money in a round where I think pretty much the most expensive thing they had was a Deagle. Nice couple of shots from Hoodlum though, just peeking different angles as well.
Those 2 shots, brilliant. That's nice. Again, maybe having the players solo working through apps wasn't a great idea, but the guy in mid just got absolutely ripped on. That's fine. But the others, I can't watch this without getting a little upset.
Quick aggression though coming out. T-side actually doing a little bit of damage to themselves, but not anything they can't repair. Push gonna be coming in. They've got 4 players on Banana this time. Aggression out from the CT side, and it's just destruction. 1 man now. Cray, the only person anywhere near the action. If he goes down, the CTs are almost definitely saving here. He's got to do a lot, and well, he's out within seconds.
I was wondering if they're actually going to check on it, purely due to the fact they'd already killed 2 towards B. I don't know if they'd have expected a 3rd that quick, but they do eventually find him. He doesn't do the impact that maybe he was dreaming of. But with these 2 so far away, you're just not going to get back to B in time. Simple as that. That's why it's so hard to play retake on this site. Or at least from if you're playing the pit side of this side of A all the way over towards B. It's almost impossible to be able to make it there in time and then pull it off. So the 3 remaining players on the T side should survive unless they decide that, you know, staying close to the bomb is where they want to be.
Pretty low.
They are. There's on 12 and 16. So hopefully they decide to retreat away as a team and keep those guns in hand. Again, I'm not sure how the money's sitting for Infused at the moment. Of course, we know that Reasons is a little back and forth, to say the least, just purely because, you know, you win a few, lose a few, it goes just about everywhere. So, okay, we've got a couple of players now on the T side trying to build up those funds.
Yeah, they're keeping 3 players alive is where you actually start making the money as well. So, better from them. Obviously, it's the same sort of rounds coming in, though, over towards that B side. It always seems to be CT sides. Either they're going for a little bit of a late aggress over towards Banana, which I don't really understand because they don't have any information. They don't know if there's somebody already waiting there, which in that round at least there was. And then they get taken down, they lose the site, and it's always some sort of retake or, in that case, just had to give up. So I would like to see them go one way or the other. When they actually just took control of Banana, the round seemed to go much better. They had 4 players on A when the push began to come in a few rounds ago. So, Bob, there you go. Cinder actually is going to take some control. Of course, this round, he's got a pistol. He needs to get close. So, it's all part of the plan.
So you're going to be flashed through, yeah. Here it comes. Flash comes in, and it flashes Cinder. That's... Ooh, that wasn't the plan, was it?
He wasn't ready.
No. I don't think any of us are ready for that sort of level of play.
It's all part of the plan. Like, blind him so that he can see better later. Just improve, not infused his vision, improve his vision. But here we go. He's going to be pushing out. They do have the rifle on Hoodlum here. And actually, they've got both rifles over towards the A site. So, if anything, this is a stack. It may only seem like 3 players a more normal round, but this is the stack. This is everything in here for Reason. Nice shot. But it's only going to be 1. A lot of damage done, however, onto Fry, so much more of a possibility.
And they've pushed down Banana now. They know everything. They might even catch the bomb crossing in if they are not aware of this. Support needs to come through. That's a shot, and that's an angle. Cinder gets away with a gun and spots the bomb out. That's now under wraps, under lock and key. And, well, I don't see MCK getting out of this. First, Karma. Second, not going to happen. There is Mace going to say no. And we do see a little bit of a turnaround from Reason.
Team Ace again. They're just,
they like it.
I like Team Aces. I like seeing everybody playing their part.
I like fair play and kindness throughout the land.
I like the little bait there as well coming in, where it was just sort of like, I've already peeked, so now I'm going to hold the angle waiting for you. Just smart stuff coming out from the CT side. They'll get themselves another buy, so will the Ts. And they've got the AWP once again. Now, this was where they seem to take a little bit more control. Deep smoke, Molotov in, and I wonder if they'll try and set up Karma once again.
Karma. Playing pretty close by. Lots of early utility being used. Reason trying to keep back some of those mollies towards the end, but a lot of the B players now have pretty much gone through everything. Cinder and Karma have pretty much utilized everything they bought in this round. So if a B hit was coming in, that could be horrific. But Infused aren't actually tendering for this. They do have 1 player at the bottom of T stairs. There's that molly again, and you use it for a reason. You use it to push players out that corner, but no one was watching for him to actually cross out and face. But Aaron will trade back into this, so it's down to a 4v4. You've got 3 players now looking towards A, and you can see the intention this round. Guys, do the same thing, but one of you just sit T stairs. The 2 players on Banana this time not able to get through, but they're backing away. Oh, this has gone wrong. Now they're going to go towards B, it looked like, or maybe wrap through Arch, but the player down by T stairs has fallen, so they've got to change their mind and try and do something on the fly here.
through the gap. That's a nice shot from MCK. It will just leave one man on the site, and the spray isn't good enough. Only gets one, but back into a 2v2. This time, the CT side are definitely going for it. But as you said, they've already used all that utility while trying to defend the banana, so they have nothing other than their aim and a couple of kits.
Fry's a little low, but he's still got a molly and a flash. He wants to play till the very end, so maybe he can molly the site, play off the back of it. Fry going to try and flash in. He's going to spot this out, unaware of the angle. Cinder falls, and now Karma left to play back in. That's a shot and a half, but now the final man that stands in his way is Aaron. He expects the angle, he doesn't hit the shot, has to go back in, and he can't do it. Aaron's there, but it's not Aaron getting pumped up. It's the man behind him.
Yeah, Coach Neil just getting into it.
Coach Neil.
He's not on the floor anymore, like unhappy. He's pumped.
But he's like those dads when they go to watch their son play football. You know what I mean? That gets a little over-invested into it and starts yelling at the other 10-year-olds.
Get him!
Get him! Chill out a bit. It was a very important round. Taking nothing away from that was important because not only did they get one on the board, they forced Reason's money now down to pretty much, well, not nothing. They did pretty well with the Deagle before, but very, very limited amounts.
Yeah, Karma already going to be burnt down early. No AWP this time. They are looking to try and take some presence over towards that banana. Red Snake just going to be waiting in the smoke. A couple of smokes, in fact. But not a lot of control able to be taken. They're going to try this again. This time, Cinder isn't blind, but his opponent is. Takes a couple of shots, but he will at least get one for his troubles. They've rotated a second player over to B as well, so it leaves just Hoodlum, who has been doing quite well over towards A. So it has to be said, like, his positional play has been on point.
He's doing very well. Fry. Having a couple of pot shots. Missing a bit of a sitter, and you can tell he's happy with that as he throws his mouse around the room. Hoodlum is the only one by A, but bear in mind what he managed with the Deagle before was absolute filth, so I wouldn't take it too lightly. Again, he can just try and play this one out late if they don't split someone through the apartments, maybe just hinder the bomb plant, or they're going to wrap through Arch and then just completely screw over Reason. I don't know why they would. They've spotted out a couple of, they felt the presence at Banana. I don't know why they would. They can just go back towards A, and now he puts it down to Hoodlum. How much damage can he do? How good is he really with this Deagle? That's not a bad start.
Yeah, it leaves the other two players, though, with very little, and may just want to hold on to the extra armor, the pistols for the next round. Looking like at least there's a chance to get an exit. That could be something. Obviously, all the players with either AKs or AWP, so either one of those would be a huge bonus. Going into the next round, there you go. Karma's already managed to get one, and he's out of there. No point challenging for here on out. They're not expecting to win the round, but whatever they can get is going to be a nice little bonus.
Yeah, that other gun was down in Graveyard, so not unlikely to get hold of. But this... MCK, please! Oh my god.
Close.
Great. You hit those shots, but can we get a slow-mo replay of that very, very awkward 5-7? Like, this is just 4 missed shots coming through. But that's the sort of nerves that these guys wouldn't have online. You sit at home, your own setup, comfortable. You maybe go to an I-Series and it's literally your own PC. And look at this. Cray's been hitting absolute bangers, but you just... a touch behind, just a little behind, maybe a little not quite on point. You can see the difference it makes, but this is looking more and more like maybe a 10-5 half to me. I'm feeling that Infused are looking overall quite strong on the T side, but again, looking at UKCS so far, I can't believe that means anything overall.
AWP changing hands. So it's going to be Hoodlum now. He's been doing well with the Deag, so another one-shot weapon is going to be his AWP looking down mid. I think it's just based on position. Karma clearly wanting to switch over, and he has found that early kill, so clearly that's the way to work things.
Yeah, it could be spawn-based. Maybe he just had a slightly better spawn to make a play towards middle. Maybe he just fancied it, and as you said, it's worked out well.
Yeah, T-side falling back into much more of a default round, though, waiting for further aggression. Now, Reason don't really have any, reason to go for it, and they are actually going to rotate another player over towards the B side. So going for a bit more of a read in this round. Red Snake looking to try and find the pick. Obviously finding the AWP on the body of his teammate. Isn't going to spot anything out as of yet. Very passive hold coming in from Reason Gaming, just waiting back, hoping for someone to push into their crosshairs.
I think Karma's basically just going to play contact to just smoke it out if he feels it. So close by. And as soon as there it comes. Smoke comes in, mollies come out. There's the counter. They're going to have to try and commit through this. You can see them wanting it. You can see the idea from Red Snake, but then they just kind of hit a brick wall. And that brick wall is Cinder, blocking the way. Aaron and now MCK have to try and fight back in, but even though with MCK doing wonders over by A, this might be a little too far. 25 seconds, 4 players in front, not gonna happen. A slither of hope reappears there at the end for Reason, but that's, I've got to say overall, Infused, the T side looked pretty decent. I've got to say some of the hits that come through once they worked out that CT side wrap was working well. Why did they exploit that one?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff they were doing, as it was pointed out on the desk earlier, it wasn't the most complicated strategies in the world. We saw a lot of wraparounds. We saw a lot of the time the B hits at least were successful based on aggression coming out from the CT side and without too much utility behind it. A lot of it was just like really weird delayed peaks to try and get information, and by that point it was a little bit too late. They'd already lost so much control, and I have to give credit to Infused there that in terms of actually taking apps and Banana and having players waiting in middle as well, they seem to have so much of the map by the time they actually went to execute onto a site.
Personally for me, in games like this where you've got, you know, the more quote-unquote puggy style, I'm all about just the solid default to start with and then transition into something. Just show that map presence. Don't allow them to try and do something quirky or annoying. You don't particularly need that. You don't want that rush down banana with no reason to do it. It's things like that that just be frustrating. So hopefully we see maybe a little bit more of this. But again, we're going to have to see if the CT side can hold up now for Infused, because we've seen the Reason. Yeah. You know, there's moments that are very good, very solid. I think the AWPing that came out was very, very impressive. The 5-7, not so much, but the AWPing was good. Yeah, Deagle, certainly there. But it seems that everyone can play T-sides at the moment. They have a little bit of something. Now, it's quite difficult to a degree for some of these teams to pull it off on the T side, just purely due to the fact you do need some coordination. As much as we say it's quite hard to play the CT side because you need that synergy, to know how to respond, to get that perfect timing off you, and which smoke do I do, where do I fit in, am I third in, am I set, you know, things like that aren't easy to pick up on. But we'll see how that affects them. Reason now on the T side, on the attack, of course, and Team Infused. It's their shot on CT. Do they finally lock this one out? Is this finally the first team we see who can actually handle a CT side?
I'm interested in the HE choice over the smoke when buying up a kit. I'm not sure I agree with that. I always like to see a smoke, but hasn't been thrown in as of yet. We're seeing a lot of presence in middle, but the bomb still waits down the bottom. Aaron starts things off, finds one, and it's all just an elaborate ruse as Fry finds a double headshot. This pistol round is going to be a struggle for Reason now, as they've got 2 players left, just looking for overfaces, and Fry, well, he is going to keep peeking. He does have an advantage with that USP, but in the end, he decides to fall back. I think that's a smarter choice.
It looked, looking where the bomb is and where the other player was, it looked like they had an intention of maybe, you know, getting towards B, trying to punish the players, pushing down Banana. You used to do old hits through second mid, you throw a load of decoys up, you make a load of noise, come right back down middle, join up with your teammates who are waiting T stairs, and by that point, the CTs normally would have pushed down Banana. Didn't have the time to do it. They'd lost out on CT Arch. I think they went a little too deep if that was their intention. May not have been. But now, as said, down to Cinder and Cray to try and make something happen, but they have no real step anywhere. They don't know where the CTs are anymore. They never really got that much fed through to them. Cray doesn't have any armor and he doesn't have a head anymore. There it goes, and it's down to Cinder, trying to get back into this. 1 kill so far. And Tech9's been found, so maybe he'll do something with it, but only 18 seconds.
Yeah, that's the big thing. The time is just ticking away. He's going to spam, finds one. Actually, the last player on the site is pretty low on HP, but it won't matter. Doesn't manage to do anything more, and while what could have been doesn't really matter. They seem to have a strategy. They may have been trying to wrap Arch as well. I think they had 3 players looking in that direction, but wow, this was it, wasn't it? Just the bait and switch. Gotta love it. Aaron just playing his role perfectly, gets the 1 kill, and just runs off and leaves it down to Fry.
Right. This is the scary one though, which is a strange one because it shouldn't be. But for some reason it always does feel that way, that you just don't want to lose that, especially on the CT side. You just don't want to lose that money. And we're going to see that big hit up to Banana, but look at those nades. It's torn them apart. The HP is just reeling off the back of it. Now good kills do come in for Reason. They found them both. But if they get a plant out of this, that's still impressive, but that molly could cause problematic. And no, the shots come in, they hinder the bomb crossing. Finally it gets towards the site. The bomb will go down, but look at what they're left with.
Yeah, they're so low on HP, it's going to have to be instant headshots. They've just got to take them down before they can even peek around the corners. Fry going to be pushing in, already gets himself 1. There's another player to wrap. Nice headshot comes in. Actually, Karma's got another, using the Deagle, the perfect weapon for these situations. He's not that low on HP, but he is going to peek out, spots his opposition in Fry, looks for more, tries to pre-fire the angle. He's still stuck behind. Bomb going to be tapped, and this is all just a play from Fry to get him to peek through that smoke. But Karma hasn't bought it at all. He's still just dodging bullets like a maestro at the moment, and the knife going to be coming in, but it just doesn't matter. This has all gone wrong for the CT side, and what should have been an easy round for Infused has gone the way of Reason. Or not, I suppose, if you're not using it as their team name.
Oh, what a round. That's not good. It's just the early damage, right? You look at the early start of this round.
I don't want to watch this again.
No, don't make us see it. It hurts me. But no, it's the fact that they got such early good early damage. They eventually got overrun, which it can happen. It's frustrating, but it happens. But now the problem is for Infused, their money is in such a weird spot here. They're able to fashion some form of buy, but it's so shambolic. It's so patchy. You've got
jumble sale.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a rifle there on Fry, but the rest you got UMPs, other SMGs, P250, CZs. It's just it's not great.
Well, it really is. It's a reforce, but with a knife kill, which that doesn't happen very often. It has to be said, but yeah, it's not going to be an easy round for them, and they've sort of given Reason a bit of a lifeline early on, because you sort of look at those pistol rounds going their way, the follow-up rounds, and they're quite far in front. They'll have a 6-round lead. Instead, they've lost one early. The AKs now go into the hands of Reason, and they don't have that economy boost. They don't have that build-up of utility that is so vital when it comes to a map like Inferno. Now, in this round, at least, they've gone for nothing in terms of information. It's all sit back, relax, and wait for the T's to push into our crosshairs.
See the player up on this box going to be played in by Red Snake or vice versa. See how it goes down. See who gets first contact. Here we go. Swinging should happen about now. Red Snake unable to really capitalize on much there, but 4 players here, and the rotate's coming through. Fry will be there in a second. No smoke on the cross. They have no smokes left. This could be very problematic. Fry could really have his way with them, but no, he gets found in the end by Hoodlum. Great connection from him, but curious as to how they don't have a single smoke left on the T side for the cross.
Yeah, it is peculiar, to say the least, but they did have the longer range weapon. Maybe that was the idea. I don't know if that's a very good idea, but it might have been the plan. Just take the range battle, a little bit unexpected. But T's now in an after plant position. Bomb down. They have 3 rifles versus the 1 on Aaron, who has picked up the kit. MCK also has himself a Molotov to be thrown in, but it's not going to do anything. All the players are just waiting down Banana. This strategy is just cruel to clear it out, so difficult, but Aaron has managed one, but there's so many angles to check. They're pretty much going to have to try and go for the defuse, and MCK, well, he was the one with the kit anyway, so him running down, there was no chance in that round, and in the end, well, Reason get another.
Yep. You can see the frustration kicking in. Even if they're winning rounds, if they're losing them, these aren't rounds that you're happy with either. They're incredibly sloppy. Good shots coming out, but you shouldn't be depending on someone like Hoodlum having to hit that many shots in a row to get you into a round.
Yeah.
When you had that much of a better buy, you had so much ability then to overrun them. Now, of course, the CTs are going to suffer under this. They're finally going to be humbled a little bit, but they've gone for a stack out towards B. And oh, the P250's come alive. Cinder and Mace shredded as Karma trying to pick up the pieces that were left there. He's done very well at that. 3v3, and they're still going B. This is the thing. You put 2 players down there, you entice them in, and think, oh, that's it. That's all they've got. And now the rest of Infused need to sit back and not show too much. MCK going to take the first fight. And now this is where the trap could be sprung. They wait. Fry misses every shot possible.
Actually does manage to get one, though, and there's a couple of... Well, Karma's very low. Actually hits the headshot as well. Aaron looking to try and turn things around, but Hoodlum, well, he's done what they should have done a long time ago and got the hell out of there, going back towards A, although it's a bit of a bait. He's trying to catch him, looks back in, peeks the angle, somehow doesn't do that much damage, and Aaron's just sitting there like, okay, well, I'll pick up the AK now. If you want to peek this again, I'll give you another go. But Hoodlum has finally gone to A. He's going to get that bomb down. They'll get some bonus money, which they may need into the next round if he can't clutch this out for the 2nd round in a row.
Now, I'm wondering if Aaron's going to work out where that's planted. Genuinely, Hoodlum's position is not standard, but it's a good plant for it, right? If you can check the back right of sight, if Hoodlum doesn't peek up and down to keep an eye on it, this should be the next piece in Aaron's puzzle. Working this out, he's going to check, but does he check Graveyard? Aaron, you've got to do it. He knows he had the right idea, but in the end, the armor, the positioning, holding the angle, Hoodlum again saving the day, but that gets far too close again.
Yeah, two last rounds where there haven't been a fall by either time for the CT side, and it comes down to one man. The non-UK player, of course, which is lovely. But just thought I'd add that in, but never mind. 9-10. It's still a very close affair at the moment, but this is where Infused get themselves a bye. Fry doesn't have any armor behind this AWP, and a lot of utility normally gets thrown up the top of Banana, so he has to be quite careful with it, at least for the early parts of the round. And this time, at least, smoke on every single player, so we should have something for that cross if they do go B once again.
You say that. Karma.
That nade.
Yeah, drops out the nade, but does lose his life for it. In the end, for now, Infuse retain that banana control. That pathway towards B stays in their hand. You can see that Kray's maybe having a little go at this eventually, but the rest of the players, for Reason, working their way through the apartments, putting Mace up towards middle. Here's the resmoke. Infuse being quite meticulous on the timing that they're using to put their smokes and flashes into play, just to buy them time. They can just stop them able to see. You don't obviously run through a smoke, even though you could flash it and then run through. It's not ideal. It's not the game plan. And for now, Reason have to wait. Patience being tested here on both fronts.
Fry now set up. He's very low on HP, so quite an aggressive angle. Can be risky, but just going to be holding. The bomb still sat back. This is the show. The show and switch. Back towards Banana. Towards the AWP, and Fry hits the first shot. Repositions again. Flash going to be going out, but by the time they get towards him, he should have vision once again and gets another. 3 kills, can't get the 4th. But now we are going to have that push coming up. 1 man over towards this B site. The rotation is going to be quick. T's need to get onto this site and clear so many angles, but they don't know it's pretty much already a retake setup at the moment for the CT side.
CTs are in a really good spot here. Will be a oh, Mace, you good? Calm down. Bomb goes in eventually. Look, nerves then almost coming in, and it took too long, and there it is, all facing together. Infused work it out in the end. Gonna get the defuse going, Red Snake and the helm of that. But 4 players alive is integral, but that all ping basically saved them that round. You put 1 man towards, control Banana, it's all yours, you're the early warning system. You go down without getting a kill or information, we're done. Playing retake on B, welcome back to a 50-50 no matter who's alive. So for him to get those kills, backing away each time, buying time, so well played.
Yeah, it's the classic turret setup. Pretty much like the Skadoodle. We see so many players do it where it's just like, okay, this is our first buy round in a while. We're going to gamble, have you over there. We're a little bit low on utility. You've got to be the man to do the work. And he was. He's stepped up, the star of the team doing his job. And, well, he's going for a mid-peak this time. But because it's pistols, we're having aggression over towards that B side of the map. Already full Banana control. Red Snake is set up.
Very nice.
But already Trials has got himself too.
This is good. I like the way they're not playing close. They're not allowing the pistols to come to bear, to get to range. That's awkward, Red Snake. They've now crossed and the bomb's going to be planted, isn't it? Made a bit of an error, but Fry there again going to find 1. Red Snake can take his time. Okay, you don't want to let them get the plant. You don't want to let them get that close because it does get a little bit scary, but at the end of the day, you should be able to play retake with 4 of your players on a full buy against 2 pistols who have no armor. So, Hoodlum, let's see what you can do, though. Your Deagle's already proven to be pretty deadly. Surely not again. No, this time quelled early on by MCK. As the Tech 9 can rattle off as many bullets as once, it doesn't matter. Defuse comes in, and Infuse begin to build up rounds now.
Yeah, still bomb plant going to give a nice bonus. That can give an AWP over to the T side if they want it. Not all T sides will bring it in. It's normally more of a counter, which may actually be a good idea because Fry has been a nuisance, at least in the previous round. And, well, he did get a kill towards the end of that one. They are actually going to bring it in, so Karma will have that AWP. Plenty of utility for the remaining players as well. So this is where we need to see Reason with a bit more of a step up, because if not, this first map is likely to be going the way of Infused.
And looking at the way Reason come into this, they actually play it quite similar to, I guess, some of the French teams, like with your RPKs and your Happies. They don't play for Banana control early. They kind of leave 1 man there, but they've actually put Kray working up on his own, but it's weird. They do this without using their utility almost towards it. They're starting to use it now. They're starting to put their bits into play, but it's the lack of early tender. It's not the, all right, just throw your nades up there quickly or put a couple of flashes or that quick molly to deny the corner peek. It's, okay, we'll build up slowly. So they've kind of fallen into this default. I like the spray from Cinder. Good idea. There was a player on the other side, should I say. So it works out well. You can molly it off as well if they fancied it, if they know it. Certainly viable. Big commitment, though. And it looks like, again, Reason aren't really making their minds up yet. They're just kind of taking map control and working their way through it, getting the feel of how they want to approach this.
Sort of trying to play off Cinder by the looks of things. He was the star of the show when we saw them, at least for me, in the first week on Cobble. Looking for more, and well, the peek in from Fry. This time it's caught. That counter AWP works wonderfully. Now they're going to rotate back. Now, the 2 players on A, there's no way they're going anywhere. In fact, there's a 3rd player coming over in Trials, so it's all going to be on to... No, it is just Trials left, in fact. He's going to be the last man here, although Red Snake, maybe with the correct read, gets back in time.
Nice.
Molotov will buy them a bit more, and in fact, there's only 20 seconds on the clock. They've saved so much utility. Infused just playing the game so well with all of these nades left. and Reason have to go running through.
13 seconds is so well played with Trials there, buying time like a hero. Red Snake as well, creating the crossfire at the last second possible. 5 seconds now, they're surely out of time to get the bomb plant, and they know it. The last two CT players just need to hide. So well played on B, considering that one, basically, the molly that came in at the end then, the Red Snake put down, and then you hear it being extinguished, the smoke came in instantly, you know they were going to hit. They know they had to go then, and it instantly came through. And then even with, I think it was, Trials didn't put a molly down and it accidentally went on top of the boxes, but it actually worked really well. He'd smoked the front of the site, he mollied the box, and then they had no like easy, annoying route through, so you can't just jump up on the boxes. So again, it actually played out well, and look what it's done to the money on Reason.
Mace actually buying up an AK here. Oh, that is a dirty nade with the AWP as well. Already so much damage done, and well, this is just Infused looking to try and farm up a little bit of cash. Now they've got the stand-in, looking to try and do some damage. Got himself an AK. Actually got a decent amount of nades as well. Aggression coming in from Red Snake. Not something you see too often. Doesn't want to get caught out early on. That's a way back into this round, although there's still not a whole lot invested. Now the majority of players, or at least a couple of them, are based over towards this banana spot, but the bomb is going all the way back around into second mid, so definitely not really any sort of dedication to either site as of yet from the Ts.
Right. These are the rounds where you just pray for a plant, or you get a little bit of a, you know, a cheeky kill that opens up some avenue towards maybe getting an advantage, but it's so limited, and you can already see that you do have a lot of players from Infused still dedicated to the day. Until they see that bomb, they shouldn't move, and they know that as well. You've got MCK doing very nicely at this sort of spot. Cray's going to try and find room to work, but that's the important thing. Somehow the nade finds them.
That's a bomb.
I don't know how, I don't know if Hula maybe stepped or just awkward timing, but Cray, I felt as though maybe that second shot could have happened, but yeah, I don't know that timing on the nade. I wonder if he stepped or something, because you don't just randomly nade apps at that late, but maybe they just knew how he liked to play it out.
Just knowledge.
Just smart as hell.
But, well, obviously, us losing like a couple of players over on the other side, not seeing anything else, it might have just been sort of, okay,
sod it, nade it.
Where are they likely to go to try and plant the bomb? The closest position is apps. Give it a go. Or they heard a footstep and I'm just making stuff up.
You make them sound way smarter than they are. Yeah. That'd be really nice. Like, no, they totally read that. Yeah, they've been watching demos for years, actually. Very keen. But a tactical timeout. And I've got to say, it's almost... I personally think it's almost too late to call a tactical timeout. It's never too late to make a comeback. It can still happen. But I think a lot of the issues could have been addressed earlier.
Pause.
You're not fanatic, though, are you, Reason? You're not quite there.
Right, okay, now we start, like... He's just saying, okay, take a breather, calm down.
That's the thing, it's...
Headshots.
Because Fnatic never used to do anything in those timeouts. Like, I remember asking them, what do you guys do? And they just said, nothing, we just chill out. It just annoys everyone else. So...
Well, I always like seeing it when a team like really far in the lead does it, just as a sort of like BM pause. Although I like it even more when it then backfires. Like if you do the sort of BM
very
pause
sadistic.
And then you lose, I'm just thinking, you deserve that.
You enjoy Mid-3, don't you?
Yeah. I saw Tengri do that, and it really made me laugh. I was enjoying myself during that. But, yeah, but it's just sort of one of those things, because either it's to calm the nerves, which fair enough, or it's just a cocky pause, and then I sort of
That's what you get.
What you get, yeah.
I enjoy players who get a little bit of, you know, cockiness going these days. I love a bit of config. Yeah. I think he's great. He's got the ability to back it up. Why not? But that's one thing the UK scene has, is a personality to give it. If any of you out there watching this right now, any of the UK fans, still have that clip of Critical. I think he was at one of the LANs very early on, just shouting and running around. Really appreciate that. I think he's trying to hide it from YouTube, so if you could please provide it and bring back one of the best moments in UK CS, we can start enjoying it again. Cinder going in for the same spray, though, towards a boost. And this looks like maybe a quicker piece together hit towards A, just purely as to how they're approaching this. Molly's to hand as well, and yeah, you can see it coming through now. The smoke's quickly to follow, but whether or not they commit is yet to be seen. Keep your eye on that bomb, because it's not quite going towards the site yet.
Yeah, still clearing a lot of angles. Slight rotation coming out from Red Snake. This is pretty much something they've done quite often, but it does look like they are now bringing the bomb through apps. Haven't found anything yet. They've thrown in a lot of utility, which has now faded away, but through the box, Hallow Karma finds one. A double down from Fry, brings it back into a 3 versus 3. Another one from MCK leaves it onto Hoodlum. And Young Crayon, they're actually going to go backing around, but look at the position from Trials. Genius.
If you don't get those early defaults, if you don't get that early information of aggression, this probably is going to happen to you.
Absolutely.
And there it is. I think he said, very nicely done. with a slow golf clap to follow. Very well mannered young man, of course. Never said a rude word in his life. But you can see how much it means, though, because let's put this into perspective. At this point in the season, even though it's still relatively early on, they genuinely do need this victory. Otherwise, you get to that point where you're already kind of looking at, you've had too many of those awkward losses against teams you shouldn't be losing to, and you get put into a position where maybe our chances going forward are pretty much done for. So Infused Back to the Walls have come out for now. Again, this was their map choice, if I'm not mistaken, so not too surprising to see them doing well, but getting to a nice 15-9, feeling confident about it. That's going to get them feeling better going to that next map.
Yeah, especially a map like Mirage, where it's going to be more about sort of confidence, aim, the real Pug style map, the UK map, if anything. But yeah, we're going to have the T's this time. They have, of course, invested. It's their last chance saloon, but they don't have a lot of utility. They've got one smoke, quite a few flashbangs, but that's really not enough for going any major execute. They're going to have to work off individuals. And while the man I want to look at the moment is Cinder, just waiting to try and take that peek and tabs. He's holding in case anybody goes aggressive. Patience is key, but it doesn't seem like Infused, they haven't been going for any over-aggressions. A lot of the time, they've been sitting back to the site and just doing what they do best and hitting their shots.
Then, as I said, they're not getting caught out by these kind of fakes, which is nice. They're keeping players on site until they see that bomb. Sure, they've been fooled by the presence before, and if you get punished by it once, then you have to play Credence, but Fry is keep them on their toes. Now, the B players, you can see them getting anxious to rotate, to move, and oh, they get caught out so badly! Cray! That's perfect play between him and Hoodlum. If only Reason believed in, if Infused believed in the positions they were holding, they were fine. They had two players on the right side, but they tried to move. Someone made a call, someone made a bad call. And whether it be Red Snake listening or not, it doesn't matter. They're now down to a retake, which is incredibly tricky to do.
Yeah, trying to finish things off maybe a little bit too soon. And while it's onto that retake, they do still have utility onto Fry. Going to be rounding those corners with the Deeg in hand. Time is beginning to burn down. Molotov goes out. Cray's position is very good, and Hoodlum, again, it's just that bait sort of role. He's surviving on just 8 HP. Peak comes out, down to the 1 versus 1. Aaron trying to finish it, but it's not going to happen. The T's will hold on for another round.
And those are the sort of mistakes and weird rounds where if it starts to go wrong afterwards, you start getting annoyed. Because that was a round you should have won, right? That's the thing in your mind going, we had every advantage. We were in what was almost like a 4v2, essentially. You shouldn't lose those unless you make mistakes, and they did. They pulled players off the site before seeing the bomb. They tried to stack out, a site with no real reason to, but obviously, if you see 3 to 4 players, you're starting to believe in it. You kind of end up over-rotating. Fry, that time, does get caught down. Hoodlum's just kicking it up a gear. This guy is really coming alive.
He has been one of the pillars for this team in this matchup so far. Trials now holding on, buying a bit more time for his team, important for those rotations. Now the T's have slowed right down and they may just look to fall back. A 4v4 normally benefits the T side, so they're perfectly happy with that. Look to try and reposition, and almost now, Team Infused are going to be the ones having to play a little bit more of a gamble strategy. 2 players over towards the A site, a rotational player in the form of a Red Snake once again. But it's been that same sort of strategy all the way through, and Trials, to be fair, has done a very good job, but there we go. The aggression from Red Snake caught out. They go for a bit of information, and Trials now left alone, but the bomb definitely not dedicated there as of yet.
Where are they going with this? It seems so overly complex. Bomb going to eventually work up towards B now. 3 players there. Got a late lurk, I guess, from Cinder towards second mid, work his way around. He will join them eventually, but who's on site? Again, still Trials waiting. Gonna just find an angle and just stick to it. But if you're Infused on the other side of things, you might need some support in a better position for this. The only man who's close is Aaron. He can get there, but not particularly soon. And there's still a little bit of utility left, but not much. Trials, how much can you do? How much can you slow down? How much can you hinder here? Because they've got to expect you to still be on this side. What are you doing? Cray! Oh, Trials, that's brilliant! Perfect play. Hampers the time. We're running low on the clock now, 10 seconds, and Mace is on 1 HP.
Yeah, he's got to try and clutch this to keep them in the map. Rotation already coming round, and it is Trials. The anchor on the B side, and that's what he deserves at this sort of point. Massive from him. A play that should never have happened either, but ridiculous.
It's getting a little spicy here in the studio, it feels. But no, a brilliant bit of play towards the end from him individually. And I think you can say that a lot about the Infused players. MCK, to me, was actually very impressive. I found him to...
especially.
That T-side opening power, once they started to work out, okay, wrapping through CT Arch is our best opportunity, they made it work incredibly well. And he was the one delivering time and time again for it. So credit where it's due on that. Now, Reason put up a great fight considering as well, they've had a stand-in.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I'm thoroughly impressed that they were actually able to push them that far. I feel as though it should have been probably more definitive towards Infused, if anything, but they'll be happy with that win, and I would be as well. But looking where they both stand, Reason put up a very good fight, everything considered.
Yeah, and considering on a map like Inferno, I think going on to something like Mirage is going to be sort of a lot easier for them to almost have those more like simple plays, something that Mace will be able to just fill in. Like not so complicated where it's like, okay, now you rotate here. And it did look like their rotations were a little bit slow at times, especially when it came to B pushes. A lot of the time we just saw them just give up on the round, and that's because they had to. Either way, we've got other people to do all this sort of analysis stuff.
That's very true.
From a Tom to a Tom, I guess.
Yeah, let's head on over.
Thank you very much, Pansy. Tom, Biz, yes, Tom Biz said it was going to be 2-0 to Reason. That is out of the window.
What are you going to do?
He decided to go against Herald. Bad decision. Or will it be the 1-0 for SCO? We'll find out very shortly because Infused have won the first map. We'll be back in a second for map 2. So there you have it. Team Infused versus Reason Gaming. This is the Elite Series. It's week 3. This is match 2. And it finished 1-0 to Infused. 16-10 on this map. And basically, they were just too dominant. As you can see, some of the kills from Fry. He got 27 kills in total. And there's our main man, Neil Murphy, celebrating. It's a good job. You cannot lip read. Very passionate man there. Infused were a bit too strong. You said it was going to be a pickup game, very puggy, and it was. It didn't disappoint in that respect, did it?
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of a scrappy game. Both teams don't have that much to do. They just kind of go at each other over and over again, and we saw the result. Infused take it because they had better players, I'd say.
It was sort of tit for tat, wasn't it? It was 1 minute, then we'd get a couple of rounds, and then we'd go back and forth. What were Reason missing there? I mean, Hoodlum, their top killer out there, a fragger, but not anyone else backing him up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bad sign when the IGL has to top frag. That's never a good sign. And Hoodlum, while he's a good player, he's not known for being, the mad fragger. I wouldn't say he's a bad player, but he's more of a mind on the team. And in this situation, you've got players on that team, Cinder, Cray, they need to be stepping up so much more than they did. And at the end of the day, they got picked apart. And I think this is a massive part of this, is that psychological battle. Neil M having that effect. You can hear him from here. They can hear him up there. I guarantee you they can hear him, and that is tremendous. He's getting in their head 100%, and that's really difficult to play against. So going into the second game, they have to reset 100%. They can't think about their last game, and if they do, they're going to be in trouble.
How do they reset, though? How do Reason do this? Thomas down, he's on holiday, enjoying himself, just sunning at the moment. He might be watching right now, but if he's not, I mean, what can they do? I mean, can they give Mace a little push in some respects? Can they let him more into the team? Sort of under the double figures in frag, so what can he do?
Well, obviously that wasn't their pick anyway, so that they can kind of be reserved by that. They're like, okay, that's fine. We got, 10 rounds on their pick, as in like Infused pick. So that's, you're fine there. You're thinking, okay, that's fine. We can easily get 16 on our own pick now. With Mace, though, obviously he's settling in. I think he's played on the stage before. So that's like, you have to give him time in that aspect. You can't just rush somebody in and expect them to suddenly be dropping 30s. And natural.
But then you look at Infused and fantastic ADR from Fry. 104.4, that's lethal out there on a map like that. And obviously getting 27 kills there.
The only reason he got 27 kills is because they got his age drop and he had to
just drop it down. It's all about the 27.
Around. No, but seriously, Fry, wow, what an insane game. When he has that effect, there is very little you can do to stop him. Such a prolific AWPer. Once he's getting in your face, getting all over the place, the confidence is rolling. That's when Neil M comes into it. You get a bit going, and suddenly the whole team's feeling it. He's able to spread that across. So great game there from Fry, and the whole team is going off the back of his performance. They're all going, getting riled up, getting ready for the games, and it seems that's worked out quite nicely for them. So nice game from Fry, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, and also backing up, Mick MCK, 30% headshot ratio there. That's not bad. That's kind of what you want. That's very good in this sort of situation, maps like that. Makes it a lot easier. Just you pick someone off in the head, and then you don't have to worry about them again. Listen, Mirage, next map. What can we expect from this? I mean, your bet could potentially, your prediction, should I say, could come off 1-0. But what will Reason need to do in Mirage to win
I think we're seeing more of the same stuff, really. Quite a puggy system. There's not much they can do unless they've prepped exactly for this map. They had, what, 4 or 5 days to prep? And
just once again, SEO, for anyone who's new to the CSGO, what is puggy? Just break that down for us.
It's literally a case where you haven't got drilled executes or drilled defaults, so you kind of just do a pack play, so to speak. So you go into a place as a group and just kind of let it happen. There's no I'm going to flash for you. There's nothing like that. You just kind of go in and you let it happen. Okay. You just pop heads, basically. So
that's not used in...
No teamwork, no synergy. You're just playing for yourself. It's more of a case of when you practice, you might pug. You just go into a team with 5 different players, 5 random people. You just play, have a bit of fun. It's just a pickup game. So it's just a off the hand game.
Okay. So prediction from you, Harold?
I'm sticking with it. I'm going to have to go with Infused.
Okay. And yourself?
I'm thinking 16-12 to Reason.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'll throw it over to Pansy and Tom Biz. I'll swivel in my chair. Look at that. Stylish. They go all the way round. I've double-checked. No, it doesn't actually. How are you feeling this match is going to go? Match-up on Mirage?
Well, when we were saying swivel on it, I don't think we were talking about the chair.
No, but I thought that's what you said. You said to me earlier, we were chatting, and you said, go swivel, and then that's what I'm doing now. I'm just enjoying.
Oh, yeah.
Miscommunication?
A little bit, but no. No, I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah, two very good teams we're seeing so far, even with that Puggy style being implored. A lot of individual players. I think everyone's known the UK scene to be able to play to that standard. Good firepower individually. The breakout point to me is, where's the teamwork going to come in? Do we see someone try and get ahead? The CT side looks slightly better, I guess, from Infused, which isn't surprising, as they are a collective, and I think we just kind of saw that kind of come through on Inferno there.
Well, a lot of the openings as well normally come out from someone like Cinder. Like, he's been pretty quiet in the last series, and we saw him trying to sort of probe around the apps and just didn't really achieve very much at all. And I think they missed it just without him there and without Thomas also as the support. So I think on a map like this, it's going to be a lot easier for them to find those sort of openings, but he needs to be someone to step up big.
Well, I'm looking forward to Mirage, a Puggy match of Reason versus Infused. I'll pass over to you, Pansy and Tom Biz.
Thank you. And yeah, we say Puggy like it's a negative. And I guess in tier 1 terms, you kind of don't want that. But then again, right, you take into account teams like, Fnatic these days to a smaller degree, FaZe to a small degree as well. Yeah, there's the French teams as well who've become slightly more tactical. A lot of the tier 1 teams still keep in some of the tendencies that you pick up through playing this style. So again, how can you apply it to Mirage though? A lot of aggressive mid takes, a lot of aggression throughout the map. If you can actually get the timing and the synergy and the coordination down with the rest of the team, that's a very powerful thing to have in your pocket. Mirage certainly allows for a lot of this sort of play.
Which is like the difference between Puggy and maybe controlled Pugginess. Like someone like Fur, who you see him do things where it's like, that's mad, but you're good enough that it will work. So if they can pull off just some aggressive plays, I think one of my favorite players to watch on this map is actually someone like Karrigan. Just his rotational AWP has always been very powerful, and with someone like Fry who's been popping off, if he's just moving into different parts of the map on that CT side, maybe going for an aggressive Palace peak, or even going in on short, just somewhere where they're not maybe going to expect it all the time, it can just be a pain.
No, definitely. There's so many ways you can approach this map, and so many players have made their own kind of signature moves. How Modi plays through Palace, for example. How you have the aggression coming out from any of, you could look at SK, I guess, especially very good at it. You look at how Virtus Pro take mid control. You look at how, I guess, previous Astralis with Karrigan, for example, would take mid control up short on towards B. They have these very aggressive, very specific plays that you can easily draw from. It's not hard. You need what? A mid-window smoke, a deep connector smoke, and a couple of good flashes to middle. Everyone can make this happen. It's to get all the pieces at the right time. To get that synergy perfectly down is the incredibly tough bit. So that's what I'm looking at. And again, as much as this may be Reason's map choice, as Infused are a full team, I would have to say, in theory, that they should not lose because they should have that little additional bit of synergy. They should have that little bit more. Everyone's played Mirage, whether it be in a pug, whether it be in any form, even in officials. You've all played it. You all know how to do your default A's. You know how to just hit a normal default throughout a map. Everyone's got this down, or at least they should. Whether or not it works, we yet to see, but it'll be Infused starting on the T side, Reason Gaming on the CT side. Let's see if their CT side in this map can actually hold its ground.
Yeah, either way, in terms of this T side buy, it's literally just Kevlar. Every single person wanting that armor behind them. And Walt Hoodlum, he's got a smoke in a kit this time, so no more HE and kit. I wasn't a fan of that anyway. Look at Karma, though. This is sneaky, trying to get close, but he sees every single player. A little bit of support from Cinder, does get 2, but he can't get out the window. And it's now just going to have to be onto that retake scenario. CT side, they do have a kit. Cray spots out once. They've got a bit of information. No, there has to be another player on the site as well. And the last will be an Apps.
So hard to play retake on this site, though, because it does become close quarters. It's hard to put those USPs to as clear a good use as they normally do, just come alive in the range sort of elements. But actually, Fry and Red Snake going to put their names on the board. It's down to Hoodlum to play this one off. No armor, but he does have kit and a smoke. Looks to the right, looks to the left. He's trying to find Red Snake, trying to draw him out of position, but look at this. Infused, buying time brilliantly here. He does spot them out in the end, but drawn between both of them, unable to find either. He knows this one's done for. He gets pinned to the wall. And even with that early information coming through, and a good couple of kills for Cinder, unable to make much more of it.
Yeah, and well, from the T's perspective, a quick 2-2 trade is really not bad for them at all. Cinder puts up a decent fight. And as you said, the aggression got them a lot of information. But when it comes down to it, a nice hold coming out from the T players. We see the bench play from Fry just buys so much time. He goes down there. The bomb's actually planted for short. So him staying alive was crucial in that position. And now we look onto that CT side force. Cray saving a little bit of extra money, going just for the Deagle. But I don't really mind that at all. Obviously, he's likely to save maybe for the AWP or just extra utility either way. And if you miss a shot with the Deagle, normally you're dead anyway.
Why is Fry doing this alone? I really hate the way he's here literally on his own. I don't care what the plan is overall. There's no need to be giving up guns like this. No one's with you. If you're going to play that out, play slowly. Look at this again. Oh, this is disastrous. Infused, what are you doing? UKCS just does things to me sometimes, and it's as much as it is that little meme, right, that goes around, it's the mistakes that you don't get punished for until you play to a higher tier level. If they don't push themselves out of it, I don't know how you let this happen. You know, we've seen a good couple of rounds where a good couple of Deagle shots come through and there's not much you can do about it. You get one Deagled, accept it. Done. There are some mistakes coming through here that are just absolutely unbelievable. Aaron and Trials now having to find some sort of mythical route back into this. Maybe a secret tunnel will appear on Mirage and they can appear at the bomb site, because otherwise this can just get so tricky.
Yeah, Trials being very low, even the hit from the Molotov there would have killed him, so just passive positions being held, but Trials still managing to get one. He can't even be hit at all through that box, and nice work from Mace. The standing gets one, but it's down to 1 HP. Trials, somehow he's still alive at the moment. He's spraying away, and he does way too much damage there. That's a bit too close for comfort, but Reason do manage to keep themselves going. Do we just have a permanent Neil cam?
Look, so we have a couple of the analysis desks, let's say that, I'm not going to say who, believing that Neil is the be-all and end-all as to why Infused win or lose rounds. And it's not the host, it's not the man to his left. Just putting it out there. He's a big fan, he's got a plait in his hair. And as is the cameraman. So they're into it. You know, he's hyped up. You know, he gets pumped up. I wouldn't be too happy about that round.
Yeah, not in that round.
I'd have been very sad, actually. And then again, Fry able to do that much damage is also baffling. I don't know if he had, you know, some sort of incredible way of approaching it. They just somehow managed to take nothing. But still, Infuse going to come back in with a lesser than ideal buy, but a buy nonetheless. So smoke goes in towards short. Red Snake going to molly out towards window. Misses it. It was a good attempt. That's nice to see from your support player. Cray now going to play off the back, but that's nice from him, actually. Finding Cray that opens up opportunities, because now Mace, surely you don't get more than one in this position. It's incredibly hard to come alive in this, and there you go. Finally, the Tech-9's come in. Hoodlum's still alive and sitting pretty. Could be the next big threat.
Spots out the first. Cinder all going to creep round that corner. He should be dead. What's going on here? MCK gets the burst, looks for a second and gets it as well. Leaves it on to just Hoodlum. He was fragging hard in the last game, but that spray is not going to get him anything. 2 for 1. Infused breaks straight back using those Tech-9s. You don't look happy, I have to say.
See, people can't see that at home, Tom. All right?
I think they can hear it, though.
It's just certain things shouldn't work out for various reasons, and sometimes they do, and... You think, right, if you're Infused, if you're Reason Game, you're starting to see the UK teams becoming salaried and getting supported better and better. You want to see higher tier levels of play. You're giving them the best opportunities here. Of course, you're playing throughout the Elite Series. I expect more, right? And I expect these players to be 110% because they've finally got a stage to play on. I want to shake off that stigma that's attached to this scene. And sometimes you see why it's there, and you're just like, oh, but still, this, you know, it's still early days. We're only a couple of rounds in, and that's why it terrifies me. I've had so many of these moments already on Mirage. But again, this being Reason's map, hopefully they have a reason coming into this for being, I guess, feeling as though their best choice or their better map. Now, I don't mind this approach at all coming out from Infused. I really, again, hate the way that Fry is left solo on A, but because let's remember how well that went last time, and they lost that round just beautifully. A little bit quicker on the mid hit this time as well, which is perfectly fine, but just waiting to see what the end game here is from Infused, as they do have mid control. They're slowly leaning towards A, but the problem is they've not defaulted. So you can see that Cinder's pushed up through B. They've already got a stack towards A. They're opening up many opportunities here to allow this to happen. Exactly, this is a terrible thing. And again, Infused can only blame themselves for this.
Yeah, bomb's been spotted. They know exactly where it's all going now. The rotations are in from this CT side, waiting on the site. Mace not going to get anything though. Cinder finally gets one from behind. He got the information, gets nothing else, but Hoodlum will pick up one more. Damage done, but that was too close. It may not seem it in the end, but that could have easily swung. If that bomb goes down, that round could be over.
And it's just, you've got to watch the timing. That's why you default. To deny information half the time, to stop someone just slowly working their way up. And we know that there was already that Reason like a bit of B aggression. Why not do it on these sort of pistol rounds? Enabled them to stack out A, put 4 players there, a quick play around the back. Now, obviously, it didn't work out. But hopefully, Infused don't come away from that round going, nailed it. So hopefully they realize, something was wrong, so it was off in the timing. And again, here comes a push down ramp. Doesn't really get much done. Karma to connect towards Red Snake, but the last 2 Deagles need to land a lot more than just that to make this count for much more than a couple of kills. So, Karma again taking the wide swings, hoping for the best, and a little too close for comfort. But Fry's there again. Reckless, but certainly talented.
Yeah, 4 kills, nice cleanup. That was actually more of a low investment in the last 2 rounds, though, from the CT side. So wondering if we'll get an AWP finally on the CT side. And there we go, Kray's actually going to be the one picking it up, and plenty of utility. So all this money has been saved and put into this one buy. So if it goes wrong, Reason are going to be in big trouble early on in this game.
And I'm wondering if I saw that right, and it might have just been the Reason logo kind of being very red, but I'm pretty sure one of the Infused guys has the entirety of Reason muted in-game. That would make me very happy. I really hope that is true. But anyway, early smoke towards top middle, going to deny any view away from Cray. So he's going to be having to play this one back in, but he's maintaining the angle. We know that, well, the Molly wasn't great before. Flash comes in. That being a team flash, not good either. Molly going to force him away. At the moment, this is just a standard hold from Reason as well. Mid-take coming out from Infused. And it seems as though they do like this split towards A. As soon as you see Fry on ramp and 3 players working through towards connector, it kind of gives this away, especially with that smoke up towards short. They could change this up, and that'd be impressive if they do.
Cinder going to be blocking them off for a little bit longer as he looks to try and take control. Red Snake actually has snuck into the window as well, and he can spot if Cinder goes in that direction. He's heard the scope, so that's going to give a lot of information over towards his team, and Cray may have just read something quite well there. He ducks out, makes sure that he's not caught as they go to rotate in. The problem is whether Cinder or not has all of the information available to him. And actually, the timing is going to get the better of Red Snake. He's been watching that position like a hawk and instead gets caught. But now the push going to be coming in. Hoodlum again. He steps up, gets 3 kills, leaves it onto 1, and it's Hoodlum with the shutdown round. He has been the fragger for them in this game.
As soon as Reason get information like that, when they're allowed into the game, as they have been, it's good to see someone like Hoodlum punishing them for it. But again, Infused, they're just giving it all away for free, and Hoodlum's just going to take it every single time. Why not? But good reads coming throughout it. As soon as they exuded that kind of mid-control, you saw Cray fall back off it. He knew that maybe there was a chance. I don't know if they saw him or just kind of read through it, considering the mollies and the smokes that came in. But overall, I want to see either just a clean default, 1 towards your B apartments, 3 take mid, and maybe someone just slow work through apps maybe, or a slow play through ramp. I don't really care, but just take it or go fast. Try and get that split going quickly. Don't do that middle ground. That doesn't work. Cinder, though, does find 1, but a quick trade comes in from Trials, and that's exactly what you want. Now the B pinch should be on. Karma has to stop this before it starts, or it's going to get out of hand.
Yeah, Molotov forces him into a wide peak, and the peak from Cray is just going to be overwhelmed. No chance for him to do anything there. Was trying to turn it into a 3v3. Instead, the 4v2 ensues, and that leaves the remaining players to just run for the hills. Hoodlum with the AK, well, the same for Mace as well. Decent amount of utility to hold on to, and they're going to want to try and invest something into the next round again, but it is still only that one and done. Like, they managed to win, instantly lose 1 straight back. I think they kept a lot of players alive, though, in the last round, so they should have enough money to buy.
Should do. Again, you can see the difference. As I said, I don't like the middle ground that it feels that, I guess, Infused put themselves into. They don't do that kind of slow default, so they don't hear anything charge. You can see the exits come in here. Well, now this could get a little costly. Losing out on everything isn't great. They should be able to fashion a rebuy of sorts, but it's not going to be perfect if they go for it. Now, as I said, I like it when they either commit to one of the 2 things. You either default throughout the map rather than half of it, and just, you kind of commit that 1 player towards B and 1 towards A to deny the push-ups that have been consistently happening. 3 take mid control, maybe play off, the top, wherever you feel like, or you just do quick splits towards the sites. And you know that Reason Gaming shouldn't have the rotate capability to put the players in the right place at the right time. They're a mixed team, essentially. They've got a new player, and it's so hard to operate as a real collective like that. So punish them for it. You guys have 5. And this is the default that I like. Under the assumption that MCK doesn't just quickly come in through underpass, that's fine. See, now he can watch the push-up, finds Cray, and he's in a great spot here. This is what I wanted to see.
Yeah, just simple stuff in this round, not really going for anything basically complicated. Just going to wait back, already finding most of the picks over towards the A site as well. One player has gone a little bit aggressive in the form of Hoodlum, and he's got that Deagle again, which always, it's entertaining. We'll see if he can pull anything off here. Aaron not going to expect, although catches him anyway. Hoodlum not this time, and it leaves just 2 players. Obviously, this is a save round. They're not investing into this one. They're just trying to get ready for the next.
But it's the first one that I feel I've seen with 5 of Infused Alive playing it well. They played into a default, kind of came together, and then went towards A. I'm fine with this. This makes me incredibly happy. Play out your default, be smart with it, be quite passive, wait for the push-up, just punish anyone who's trying to make a quick play. Don't lose your gun really early on your own, and then just kind of come together and hit a site. And look at the utility they've got left over too. They're in a great spot here. If Cinder can catch a few, perfect for Reason as well, just punish a little bit. They might have opportunity towards Red Snake. He's on point, he is. Red Snake has the angle first. So Infused retain decent dominance now on the T side, but we've kind of already established a lot of these teams, they can play the T side. That's not the big question here. We have a pause.
I actually want to see Reason switch things up, because the big thing that I've had a problem with is in terms of mid control, it's just been an AWPer. Like, that's it. They haven't sent... They had a little bit of presence from Cinder on short, but he didn't actually take any sort of aggressive peeks. And in connector, it's just been overwhelmed within seconds. Almost every single time we've seen them lose connector and get up the stairs. So I want to see maybe somebody actually push up mid, take the fight to the Ts. Don't play in this sort of almost fearful way, because I feel like Infused, they'll just thrive off that.
Absolutely.
Especially with Neil screaming like that in their ears.
See, as much as, you can kind of follow and enjoy the storyline of him being, quite the cheerleader role, because I know a lot of people, when you used to look at NIP, for example, would see Heaton kind of behind the guys and, super just vocal and pumping them up. But the thing is with Neil as well, he is in-game leading for them on their T side.
Yeah.
So he actually does do a fair amount, especially during the freeze time, which he's allowed to talk in. Now, you can see a lot of the kind of discussion points coming out from him now, because, during the time, Reason going to come up with an idea. But at the end of the day, it's working well. It allows, I guess, your players to focus on just fragging, and we've seen this before. It seems to work with them, but still, Reason now need to come up with an idea. They need to kind of stop this before it kind of gets away from them. Maybe a bit of mid-aggression would be nice. Try and play into it. Or
They've got no ops. They have to, if it's going to be mid-aggression, they have to actually be pushing up mid, which is what I want to see. But they're looking like they're just the same sort of default again.
Okay. The shot's going to come towards window. They're going to force Cray to play a little back from it. And I wonder if this aggression's going to come through on the buy round. That might be the discussion. Yeah, Karma and I'm pretty sure Cinder going to work through. And every time there's a buy round, it seems that Infused forget that there is a B side of things. Now, they pushed up quite early. They didn't see anything. You're going to instantly put Cray around towards the back of CT. But look at this aggression towards ramp. I like this. I prefer this. Now, obviously, it could be swept aside in a second with, a good flash in, but we'll see. Try there, we forced off, it comes back in and does well. 1-for-1. Mace now a little scared, a little nervous. Palace now could be the next threat. Molly comes in, there's no safety anywhere. Forced out into the fight and he wins it. Oz goes down, but MCK quickly trades it back in.
Yeah, Aaron with another as well, and the defense of this A site has fallen completely. Cinder and Karma, a very small amount of utility. It's an incendiary, which could be useful to them, but they wait for Red Snake, but he doesn't actually manage to capitalize. That's a big kill coming in from Karma, and the rotation actually going to be going out towards that B side of the map. Just getting away from these remaining CT players. The read is going to come in from Karma, so he's going to go rotating. There's still time. There's not really any constraints coming out from the T side. They can play games a little bit, could even go back down underpass if they really wanted to. But it seems like the CT side of Elite, I've got this right.
Yeah, and sadly they're not going to check on this as well if you're Infused. Or at least not particularly. And no, there it is. Karma, great positioning. Just holding his nerve as well. That Molly's going to do well. MCK needs more than just that. Now he's got the 1v1, 10 seconds. He takes the bomb, he plants it for a second, he gets off it. Cinder looking for the fight, but MCK wants this. He's hunting this out. He's going to go for it, but no! It slips away from him, and in the end, it gets locked down by the Reason Gaming boys, but a close round again.
Yeah, a nice gamble coming out from them. It could have double backed. Like a lot of teams will do that now, just run away and then go back towards the A site once again. But the read comes out. The problem is their economy's still on the brink. Like they're still in real trouble. If they lose this round, we've already seen that happen once where a couple of individual plays, a big setup works for them, and then they lose the next round. They've only managed single rounds so far in this game.
Find ourselves the CT side economy is as punishing as it can be. Never fun. And Cray with a bit of a different approach here. Working through connector rather than window. Which does allow for that aggression towards B apps again. You can see it come through and you can see what they're trying to achieve with this. Maybe just pushing one player further up forward, relieving Cinder, allowing him to go off towards short maybe, or play it slightly differently. Because at the moment, you're kind of leaving the entirety of mid up to Infused to have what they will with it. Now, whether or not they can actually work something into it, we're going to find out. They've gone for the deep smoke towards connector. Nade and a smoke towards windows. This it looks like they're illustrating towards B, but they've had no step towards Palace for some time. So if they're assuming that that's free, that could be a bit of a misstep here, as there's only one man currently by it. And that bomb's still at the top of mid, so hopefully they can regroup here, because they still don't have much step towards the sites.
Yeah, they've been given, as I said, mid control completely. I like this upper apps aggression, though. That can be perfect when it comes to actually retaking, and look where the bomb is currently going. No. It's walking towards them in amps. This could be the worst case scenario for MCK. If he goes down here, that could be the round done, but Trials finds the first, needs this kill, but that is the bomb. And now time comes into play. 30 seconds left on the clock. They've got to go running towards this bomb. Karma just needs to stay alive. Hold on to this as long as humanly possible. In the meantime, his teammates push, but he does go down. 20 seconds left. They will retrieve it, but the CTs are ready for B now.
Yeah, that went from pretty much all being for Infused back and forth throughout that, just purely because of how that bomb entered towards the site. Flashes come in. Trials. Watching for the push through, though. Reason have one kit on towards Cray, and here we go. Trials should be able to land one. Shouldn't be able to stay alive beyond that, but now it's down towards Aaron and Red Snake. Red Snake in a good spot. Should be able to be picked up too comfortably, and there's no utility to force him out. One smoke is all the CTs have, and oh, that's a disastrously bad shot from Red Snake. What is going on? And Hoodlum now in the 1v1. Still has a kit, but time is ticking, and Aaron knows it. He's just got to play the clock, and by the time, Hoodlum now, I don't think he's got time for this, but he's going to give it a go.
Oh, that is so close. Just Aaron baiting out the point whatever second it was to just let that bomb go off, and it is that reset now. That's it. That was the difference. That sort of split second is the CTs now not having any cash in the bank. Yes, the Ts take a hit, and I do expect Reason to go for something in this round, even with the sort of extra loss bonus going into the next. They won't have enough to go for a buy anyway, so it's going to be the risk. If they can somehow steal this round away, it will be, well, it will hurt Team Infused a lot, but that's going to be very difficult. And look, they're just going to gather up, pushing straight into the A side, not wasting any time. May spamming away, but he can't connect the shots. Red Snake has to be careful, but nothing going to occur. It's down to the remaining couple of players to look to at least make things costly. They're not going to have anything going into the next round. Cinder at least gets one, and that is a rifle that he could potentially grab.
Yeah, he's got himself the AK and Hoodlum. Nah, not gonna happen. Cinder though gonna get away and just hide it out. Try and keep the rifle as best he can. But we're gonna have a little checking on the scoreboard actually. I've not seen who's been playing well. A bit of a quiet game so far from Craig. Considering he's been playing mid, and he was pretty, he was pretty impactful last time we saw him in the last map as well. He was doing pretty well for himself. Bit of a shame he's a little quiet here. And again, Trials, a man who really came alive in the last kind of part of, I guess, Inferno. It's good to see him really getting things started well. So at the moment, Infused starting to stretch their legs here. Bearing in mind, this was quite the close game to start with. This was all those rounds going back and forth. You started to believe that maybe Infused weren't approaching it with the best mentality at times. Looked a little bit shaky here and there. They've certainly ironed it out.
Something we mentioned like sort of early on in the pre-game is that rotational AWP, and I'm pretty sure every time we've seen it in window. So I'd like to see maybe just a movement, even if it's only into connector or onto short, just to try and fight mid in a different way, because so far Infused have had it for free, and well, I think they know there's probably going to be another eco, so just going to gather up as a team. I'm happy to see it played like this, just trade game. If they lose a player or two, it's not the end of the world, but there goes the bomb. Karma making it sketchy for a second, but not too much damage. Easy stuff in the end.
Yeah, those goblin boxes are great fun. I just sit there with a knife and hope. Most of the time, it actually works out more often than not, especially if no one plays in through connector. You can get away with murder, which is just delightful fun. So, Reason Gaming now finally have a decent buy. It feels like it's been an absolute lifetime since they've actually been able to get a decent buy. One, they've got the AWP in, they've got a couple of mollies, only one kit, but on the other side, Infused, pretty well set as well. No AWP there to be seen, however.
Yeah, Peak this time, he does actually go for connector, so tries something different. Unfortunately gets caught off, and it's a quick play again onto short, but this time there is a little bit of damage to be done. The CTs have started strong, picking up 3 kills already. Bomb has been dropped on short, and now it's down to Fry and MCK to try and turn the tide. Of course, we already know how damaged Reason's economy is. If they can drop even 2-3 players here, they're going to make things difficult in terms of those rebuys going forward. Fry trying to hit the jump shot. Not going to be able to do anything as of yet. And MCK looking to try and get closer to that bomb. Of course, without a smoke now that he's just thrown out, it's going to be quite difficult to retrieve. And Cinder just holding the angle Maybe a clean round. There we go. Nice stuff from Reason. It does come a little bit late in the half, but they've at least got a chance to get themselves to 6.
Yeah, at the end of the day, now they just need rounds on the board. Enough to survive through a couple of mistakes on the second half.
Maybe a pistol round loss.
Exactly, things like that. As long as you get that, there's always a chance. But I personally think they just need maybe one more round, and at least you get the buffer of, hey, okay, we lost the pistol, and we now have time to maybe get back into this. Not much more time, bearing in mind, but we'll see what they can get away with in the end of this. Maybe a couple of scrapes towards getting a round on the board here or there, but Infused going to pick up the pace towards middle, it seems. The default comes out, and again, we're going to see this rather quick play from MCK through underpass. So again, this allows for that slightly, not even late aggression towards B, but the B aggression to come through. So keep eyes towards Karma, see how far he gets, and what information can be passed back through. Again, he might just post himself up towards the B apartments just slightly by himself, leave it there, maybe a smoke down. But overall, this could be a problem again for Infused if they kind of get caught here. 3 towards A, 2 towards B. They said, screw it, we're not going to hold mid. We don't need it. We'll just try and play out the sites, as Reason has said. Completely abscond away from anyone in window, on short, or by connector.
Yeah, they will at least rotate Cray back around, so there's no chance of the B players getting stabbed in the back, which is a big role for him to have. Now Fry looking for this pick over towards ramp. The rest of his team are gathered in connector. They're waiting for him to take the vision away, to almost get all of those players looking over towards that ramp spot so they can split him from behind. Flash will go out. The peak going to come in towards jungle. Hoodlum, he did well from this position last time. Gets himself one. Actually hit a dink onto the second, and Hoodlum again just goes massive, but the trades are there. Orp over towards CT. Nice flick up and leaves MCK in alone. He's got himself 25 seconds to try and turn this back. Cinder is going to be peeking in. The shots are missed, and Cinder just backs away. Karma finishes off, but once again, props have to go to Hoodlum. He's very good on that A site.
He really is. You allow him to play around that tri-box. He's very, very good at it. Very diligent. Knows his angles, knows how far he can get to and what he can work with. Very, very nice. Now, looking at the buy for Infuse, what can we get from this one? It's not brilliant, but it's not the worst in the world. They've got enough to fashion something. I can imagine MCK dropped out Red Snake, so that's fine. I'm hoping something quicker from them, just purely because they've been trying to do that kind of mid-piece again, and it's worked a couple of times, but now that it feels that maybe Reason have a bit of an answer, they get that information towards B, they start putting players towards A quicker, they have the 3 players there. It's starting to become a bit of a brick wall for Infuse to get past, so hopefully this is just a nice hit towards A, play it quick, hope that you maybe get ahead there before maybe Cray's able to get towards site. You can see the Red Snake still going to be playing up towards middle, uses his smoke towards window, but it is a massive lean towards A, so they should be just making their hit. We'll see how they do it, whether it's the dry approach where you literally don't use your smokes, your mollies, or your nades. It seems like they're going to try and draw some bits out, but they are going to commit. Yeah, no smokes going in just yet, and I don't mind this. I'm perfectly fine with it, as long as they get the kills, as they focus on the trading, and they're going to. Great approach between Aaron and Trials. That, again, delivers here. 3 players remain, though, for Reason.
Yeah, this time Hoodlum is not there to save them. It's going to have to be the retake. Cinder, Karma, and Cray pushing back in already. MCK into the corner, but the Molotov should clear him out of position. He gets away, though. That needed to be a kill coming in. They need to find something back into this round and fast. Quick trade, but that still benefits the T's, and it is just onto the AWPer. Gets himself the first. Going to try and peek over towards ramp, but Red Snake knows. Just buy time. Waste as much as possible. Look for these players later on. The sound just being made. They know exactly where Cray is. They know he's going to be panicking in this situation. And Red Snake peeks at the last possible second to decapitate him.
Good approach in the end, whether it be a call through Red Snake or Neil. I like that. You just focus on the trading, going to the site. Don't give it away. Don't allow them to the players there. Because you know what happens. It does seem as though once Reason are able to put that 3rd player dedicated towards A and they feel confident in it, they're incredibly good at locking it down. We saw that time and time again. In this situation, nice little shot at the end from Red Snake. It always looks nicer than it is, though, just because the round ends as soon as you get the kill, so you never have that overexpended bullet. So it looks fancier than it may be, but still, nice shot. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is a better approach from Reason, and we've seen maybe that CT side for them not the best. Certainly had a couple of approaches that worked out well. They've got enough of a buffer to come into the second half. So there's certainly opportunity here.
Yeah, this is where we look towards the more like individuals, like how they're going to actually start off with these picks, whether they're going to be able to get the entries onto the site like we've seen time and time again. How mid control is actually going to be challenged. That's more the CT side, because I think we saw it like towards the end of that game, the Reason started winning rounds was, I can't help it.
It's when he casts things like big as well. Everything's
big round.
Yeah.
But it's more the fact that they went from almost being mid was taken from them to them saying, okay, now we know you have mid, we'll position accordingly. And I think that was sort of the switch up that actually worked for them quite well, because instead of Karma being tagged very early on or all the mid pushes coming in, it was more just, okay, we know what you're going to try and do, we know you're going to come connector, and we're going to react to it. And you saw Hoodlum with a couple of nice rounds where he was already watching the stairs. He was aware that there was nobody there to sort of stop them going that way. So it sort of fit into their CT strategy. The problem is a little bit late and a 10-5 half for Infused. They're going to be pretty happy with that.
Do you know the worst part is, if it goes to a 2-0 to Infused, me and one of the analysis guys are correct. The vast majority are wrong. How did you predict this one again? Let's just review that.
I don't remember.
No?
Poor memory.
No, I just slipped away. All right, Reason
Very
though, look at this keenness from Reason. This is the sweatiest thing. It's worse than the Red Room at I Series. Fry. Yeah. Working his way up top mid. Having a horrible surprise. Lands nothing and now he tries to get away. Not going to happen. A nice little trap laid from Reason. But yeah, little keen to start this one off. You like it?
I like it. It's just that they expected some aggression and they catch them out. They lay the trap and, well, they're going to start things off with that opening kill. They need this pistol. Obviously want to get off to that strong T-half. They now take mid control a little bit later than normal, and they're just going to look to pounce on this A site with that man advantage already in their hands. 2 players sitting towards CT. They've cleared pretty much everything else out, so they should know that there's going to be players waiting here. Trials looking to try and find something. Aaron gets one, and already that man advantage goes, but into the 3v3. T's with the advantage.
There is still that kit on Red Snake though, so eyes on that. But the positioning from Hoodlum again is really good. Should be able to spot the cross if needed or just play to the bomb. MCK line up an option, but nice play in the end coming in through from Karma. And Hoodlum.
Interesting angle.
Yeah, a little unique. Different.
I'm not sure I like it, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll catch on. We'll just have POVs from now.
Over the shoulder?
Over the shoulder cams. But either way, that's the pistol. That's the important thing for Reason. They've got themselves off to the start on that T side. Now, we don't want to see any turnarounds. Pistols are bought up for Infused, so no surprise they're fully invested. No money really saved, so likelihood is if they don't manage to win this force, which I don't want to count against as of yet, but if they don't, they're probably not going to have an AWP going into that first buy. So big deal normally on Mirage. We'll see if that actually affects their play. I like this.
Oh, speaking of sweaty, that was a nice little boost. Why'd you go off it, MCK?
Let's go back to the classic jump.
I like that. Puts the CZ to such a good range. It's lovely. The reason this T side is very keen, very slow.
I feel like that's another UK word, isn't it? Keen.
And it's never in like a good way, really.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it's always got a slightly negative connotation, even though it means you're just trying really hard. So doesn't that just say something about us as a collective that trying your best is actually a negative? All right?
I liked the previous round. It's just you. It's just you.
Oh, you
with
like
the
that?
negative undertone.
You like that? Really?
I like the sweaty plays. That's what I like. Either way, push into the site. The players underneath as well, and already it's going well with the pistols. 40 seconds left, but it's a bait. At least the players going down didn't have the bomb. It's all the way over towards this B site. MCK gets another, does a lot of damage, and it's on to Cinder and Karma, trying to hold on here. Karma with the double at least gives them more of a chance.
Don't know if I'd like referring to the almost fully bought up team as having a chance. But it is what it is, and what can you do? Cinder going to try and take the fight, win this somehow for himself. He's only got 10 HP, so he has to try and bring the fight that he could win. He gets denied. Big shot from Aaron comes through. And now it's just Karma. A 1v3 bomb plant. No kit left on the CT side, so they need to get on this bomb right about now. They do win the round, and this is just... It's just great CS, Tom.
So the keen plays aren't working too well.
No.
That's a shame.
They don't work at all, actually. They're awful.
I always look at rounds like that, especially when you have the better buy. If you're throwing in fakes, I'm always a little bit confused. Like, if you're trying to almost say, these two players, it doesn't matter so much if they die. Like, I always find that odd, because especially if they're holding rifles, it's like, here you go, here's some weaponry, now try and retake. And I just don't get it at all.
I'm not going to give you logic. Don't look at me like there's an answer to
No,
this.
you got it.
There is no saving it. Reason.
Please
maybe
explain.
maybe a question we could bring up to the analysis desk after this is to maybe they see a logic to it. Maybe not.
Well, no, everything's just Neil M, isn't it?
That's true.
He mind-gamed them into missing those shots.
So smart. He's so intimidating and scary.
He's got MCK doing work. Nice shot will come out from Karma, but it's quickly traded. Oh, it's all about that little switch. They're going to try and get the bomb down.
They've got the matchmaking tactics going on.
It doesn't matter. I like the reverse sweep. I think the first time I saw it was from the latest Luminosity lineup, where they threw one player into B on train, then 3 players out Ivy, and then the last player was still waiting over towards B, and they got the plant as well.
Pretty nice.
Loving it, because it's almost like
stuff.
Everybody sees that sort of one player and you're like, oh, that was the fake, and it wasn't. It was just nice little switch up of what you normally see.
That's nice. That's pretty exciting. I think he was happy you made it pretty like famous on this map as well. So I say it's matchmaking because everyone saw it and like, give me the bomb. It doesn't matter on eco. It's fine. I'll get a plant.
Like the body wall back.
Exactly.
Like every time on Cash, it's like, I'll stand here now. And now I'll run in, although they have fixed it. Props to Valve.
Wait till you see the ones that are still on overpass. When people work those out, it is going to be horrific. You can go from CT spawn to T spawn with a wallbang, with an AWP.
I never want that. I never want that.
You never want
never, ever want to see that. Well, I think I
It'll
have.
happen.
But,
It'll happen. Well, just wait for one pro player
there's
to
the
give
wallbang,
the
when you run up the stairs and hit through.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, let's have a look at this one, though. Reason Gaming now kind of being put on notice. 6-12. It starts to get a little bit uncomfortable at this point. Not quite how they intended this second half to begin. Of course, again, the pistol was a lovely start, but beyond that, not good. Mid control, starting to build for Reason, though. 3 players there. You can see Infused holding from the extremities, though. So, again, not giving it up just yet. Good flash towards connector, but no one on the other side. A passive angle coming in. Trials. Nice shot from Hoodlum. Pinpoint accuracy towards Fry.
He's been leading the charge. Somewhat literally, but Trials will be able to trade. It's just quick for the T's, though. 4 versus 3. Pushing it over towards that A side, but there's 2 players waiting here. Aaron underneath. How much can he get done? It's nothing. Cinder finds him, and Red Snake with a UMP at range. It doesn't work anymore. And it's left on MCK, who he's not going to go for this.
No, he would like that rifle. Is anyone close by to take it away? You got Cray up there, I guess. He's having a wander down towards Millie. Might head back towards spawn soon if he gets an idea. But, yeah, nice recovery. 4 alive is incredibly important as well for Reason Gaming. Gives them a little bit of money to work with going forward. Keeps their economy building in the right place. CK just needs to stay alive. And no one's actively hunting that far either, because we know that Reason Gaming's money is pretty much really on knife's edge now.
Yeah, I like that. Focus on your own economy more than breaking the opponents. It's always, obviously, it's nice to break your opponents as much as possible, but I suppose if you believe in your own buy, then you don't need to. I knew you'd hate that, so I thought I'd say it.
I'm just listening to this logic, just going, as long as you believe,
as long as you believe in your own buy. That's faith. That's what we have. That's why they have the coach, for belief.
True. That's it. Yeah. See, I'm not as cynical as your Thorins or your Lurpus, but, you know, I think there's a line that I'll draw. 12 rounds pocketed to Infused, to 7 of Reason, but Reason showing life in them yet. Fry, however, fancying a little bit of aggression. He's got Aaron with him, who can now be kind of posted up here by himself. Now, Fry could fall off this or go further. I'd prefer he didn't commit down ramp with an AWP, but sometimes we do things that others don't like. Cinder going to work his way through apps slowly as well, which could be problematic to the boys pushed up by ramp. But all in all, this is, again, incredibly slow play from Reason.
Yeah, just waiting, hoping that somebody will go as aggressive as we don't want Fry to go. But at the moment, they're just playing that sort of bait and switch. He's got the AWP, misses the shot, they go pushing for it, and Aaron is just sitting behind to finish him off. So not a bad setup early. Cinder going to be throwing out some nades, and they do have to be a little bit careful, but Counter will hold him back at least a little bit longer. Minute left on the clock, and they are actually going to be rotating towards that setup. And unlike we saw previously, where they sort of over-rotated, switched up some nice setups, at the moment, they're still just holding on to it. And this could work really well. Yeah,
especially because they're doing the default smokes. You kind of just run in off the back of them. I assume that the CTs will not smoke or do anything for the 2 pushed up. They should be fine, just sat here. And here we go. There's the first shot. Here comes the push, and the punish should have been there. Maybe a little more from Aaron, but Fry going to give everything he has for this one. But down to 2 players now for the T side, and that mid-split could still be potent. 24 seconds, but they don't have the bomb.
Yeah, the late push from Cray being absolutely crucial. 15 seconds up on the clock, though, and if Red Snake can just drop this bomb, it could completely change things. He hasn't spotted the head, does the damage at least, very low on HP, but doesn't win the duel. 23 between them. 22, in fact. And MCK now to try and turn this tide. He has the advantage of HP by quite a margin, finds one of these players and things quickly turns. He's actually going to throw the smoke onto the bomb, and Kray's just round the corner, but misses. Just needed one bullet to connect, but it will be the 2v1 that win.
Yeah, Infused, probably a little frustrated at that, and credit in the end to Reason for breaking through. I'm surprised that Arrow didn't get... He did damage on ramp, certainly, but I'm surprised he didn't get a little bit more. Is that the second one for Fry now? He's got a double? We've seen 2 doubles, I'm pretty sure, so far throughout this series. So it's good work for Infused. I like the adjustments, but a shame it fell down on some parts here. But good recovery from Reason to keep themselves with a little bit of hope in this. At 8-12, they're kind of, I guess, slowly lessening the gap here.
Yeah, closing the distance for sure. So pistols. We've seen a lot of damage done in the past from Infused. I'm hoping that Reason will at least be able to get themselves some economy. We want to see what they have to offer on the T side, if there are any strats that Hoodlum can throw in, rather than just fragging along the way. Now, at the moment, quite heavy presence over towards B. Got a player in that ladder room as well for quick rotations, and it's more just the one-man Red Snake on A, spotting out, and this is just their attempt, like a gamble. You've got very little to actually be playing with in this round, so you might as well.
I can get a gun away. It'd be pretty nice, especially if it's an AWP. Armor. Oh, look, they're not that far out on A either yet, so it's not like they're going to get all the info. I wonder if that bomb's... Can even consider this. See where they go. But then again, we've seen the Reason's T sides are the slowest in the world, and with Mace getting as far as he has, it's probably going to be a call, probably a B stack. Nice cleanup for Kray there, as Mace going to find Red Snake, and now the bomb being escorted over towards A. MCK going to be found. 5 alive here now. Starting to get very much back into this money, starting to look far more robust. And this is certainly now the opportunity to get back in this game.
Yeah, great round from them. Just, well, really individual stuff here. Just spraying them down. Obviously, no armor, giving the aim punch away. And 12-9, the distance has definitely been closed, especially after the mistake that was made after the pistol round where they get broken back. It's important that they do get themselves rolling now, get a little bit of a streak going.
And you can see it here already.
Here we go.
Having a chat, yeah. Tactical timeout coming in for these guys. And it's a good time for it. You don't want to let the game start to spiral away from you. You don't want to allow that to even be a possibility. I guess the thing is how confident a Reason feeling. They could throw a curveball and just do something completely different, just to offset the normal pace, just because they have the upper hand of momentum currently. But then again, the scoreline's not quite in their favor yet, so you feel a little timid about doing it. But you can see lighter spirits here. You know, they don't need Neil M. They're smiling on their own.
Yeah, no, I think, well, just in terms of what we're going to see in investment in the next couple of rounds, that will be, well, what's sort of interesting, because especially in terms of utility, they may be suffering a bit. And in terms of what you could see back from Reason is maybe a fast A take, which would, if you're trying to hold on to nades, just catch you completely off guard, especially if you're now setting up some sort of tactic. You've got your sort of idea in your head of what you want to be doing, and, well, they can just completely screw it over. Instead, they've actually decided, I think it was about the buy. It was whether or not they are going to invest into this round or sort of just go for pistols again, and instead, they're going to wait. They're going to get all that extra money, probably an AWP onto Fry, which has been a pretty big deal so far. He's made a lot of impact, especially on the previous map. So on this CT side, I think a good idea to get that in as soon as possible.
He also looks a bit like Ethan from CLG in his picture.
Oh, Ethan, who obviously spells his name backwards, because everybody loves that.
Oh, Nate.
He's
just a Nate player.
Well, doesn't it? Cutler does the same.
Yeah, real tough.
It's just that team.
It's really annoying. They do need to stop that. But anyway, the stack could work out really well here. Oh no, Fright gonna find Mace. And Reason now getting a little scared here, and I can see as to why. You sure you don't lose these rounds? Aaron's got himself a gun. Luckily, though, they do have Kray sitting in mid as like he actually is the linchpin of this rotation. He'll sit center and just deny the quick rotate up short, or at least he should be. Now, there's going to be one player already in towards kitchen, going towards that B site. But let's see where Reason take this. This could be spicy.
Oh, if they go back, The kill might change their mind a little bit, though. It's getting a little bit sketchy, although Hoodlum will push forward and find that kill. They've still got the AK onto Aaron as well, and he's just in the back lines here, waiting for that bomb plant. They don't have a kit, so really denying it will be a big deal for them here. AWP as well, spray from Aaron, can't quite connect all the shots. He's done a lot of damage in the meantime, and that's going to help out, especially now the Red Snake has an AK as well. However, Karma hits that first shot. It's the same scenario, 1v2, both players low, but this time it's Aaron in the clutch. He wants to try and isolate one of these two players. Hoodlum, though, headshot again, and it's the same thing. Different person, the same result. The two low HP players just have that little bit of a crossfire, and they catch out Aaron.
Damage was done, but as I said, didn't really matter. You're starting to get a little nervous now. You want a little bit more, but good recovery from Infused, but Reason keeping their heads in the end, even when they were getting very, very low on pretty much everything. They had very little going for them at the end of that one, aside from the fact that they just had the bomb down, played to it very well. Reason again, heavy lean towards 8. 4 players here. Aaron, give me the one up close. Maybe going to sit towards Sandwich. That's a new spot for him in this game, at least for now. So that could work out well to his favor if they don't check on it.
Yeah, they've got that rotational AWP in play as well. An aggressive push coming in from Fry over towards that B side of the map. Of course, there isn't really anybody here. There's just a passive play from Cray. And I like this. It's something we didn't see too much from Infused. One of the main problems we did have was when they actually got caught out from behind. But he's just playing patient. However, this gives a lot of information over towards that CT side. They're able to just spot deep, not see anybody over towards that B site. But the bomb may not be dedicated. I think they're still lining up their smokes.
Yeah, Hoodlum there, maybe a little worried about the push-up from B. Team just holding it for a second. Now that he knows that Cray's got himself into position, not the threat anymore. He's got to get a smoke going at some point, maybe. Yeah, looking at what Hoodlum has. He actually doesn't have a smoke, so he can't line anything up. So he's got a flash that might be put through right about now. Yeah, you can see the turn coming in. Aaron's now blind, but the flash comes back in. Double flash and a third. This is going to be a problem. 30 seconds now, they're going to commit, and Aaron finally does the job. Waiting to see this guy do something of that caliber. By now, you can see the fight back comes in. Good trades, but Trials is in a great position.
Yeah, only 25 seconds left on the clock as well as they make their way up of ramp. There's a player in connector, but they haven't spotted the default player. However, it's just a quick trade. Once again, going for this, and Cray's found 2. His teammate may be low HP, and that's the bomb drop. There's only 10 seconds left, but it doesn't matter. The confidence of Fry, he could have just baited out that clock, but it doesn't matter if you hit that shot.
I'm very pleased to hit that shot because you had 10 seconds. The guy, let's bear in mind, the guy gets the bomb, so you got 10 seconds sign now. You can get the bomb, you can get it down towards, you can plant maybe for short, but by that point, Fry could already come through and face by connector. There's very few other options, but still, is what it is. He hit the shot, it's fine. 13-10. This is one of those games where it's just, you know, whoever doesn't make the consistent mistakes, you just want to play the cleanest game possible. And at the moment, Reason have really brought this back. They're actually playing a very clean game, more so than I expect, and a good read here. No one on B, completely vacant of players. So they get everything. They get the bomb plant, they get to better positions, but Fry goes it alone, and Mace punishes the trade, trying to come back in from Trials. Eventually it's there from Aaron to bring it back down to a 3v3, but look at the weapons left. CZ on MCK, and really what, an MP7 on Red Snake? So, not sure what the plan is here. And, well, I don't think he knew either. Cinder catching Red Snake unawares.
Yeah, they've just been isolated one by one in the attempt of this retake, and MCK is just hoping that somebody peeks into this angle. They're already suffering with money, and that, if anything, is better than keeping the streak going, because that's big for Reason. That's just going to be the reset.
See a bit of a chat going through from the players here. Clearly getting frustrated on the Infused side. You can tell it when it starts to grind them down, when your money's been a little bit shoddy for a couple of rounds. You start to feel frustrated and, you know, maybe feeling that, okay, well, Reason aren't as much of a pushover as we thought, or maybe, you know, this is not the team that they expect to see coming out swinging. They certainly have. Reason have really started to come alive, and Karma's been a big factor towards this as well. I'm impressed with him. And while he's been playing, spots out one, they're jump peeking towards B. I think Fry might have learned his lesson, yeah. Gonna put up a nice little smoke board saying, oh!
Just the timing shot there, and what was he jumping for? Didn't he just smoke it off? Just
Maybe
in case somebody was running through.
Yeah.
I guess, but that is a risky jump to take, and he gets punished for it.
Could say it's karma.
It's karma. Ugh.
Why do you make that sound around me, Tom? This upsets me. It hurts my feelings.
At least they get the FAMAS back, though. The one rifle that they had, they've managed to pick it back up. Yeah, the game changer. Red Snake as well. I think he's only on 6 kills at the moment, so see what he can do with it. Maybe this can be his redemption, although he is the one man over towards B as every single other player gathers up. However, we've seen so much damage done with these pistols. Can they do it again? Well, at least Trials can't. He's already out of this round. CZ goes aggressive, but only gets 1. Aaron spamming away. A lot of damage done, but it's not a kill. And Red Snake, well, probably just going to save the FAMAS.
Yeah. Seems like a good plan. But yeah, a little bit of a tricky one for Red Snake. Maybe
He's
take
very
him
far behind.
Yeah, in-game leader support player. I'm not too fussed. But do you want your in-game leader have to deliver? Like, again, this is something that I'd rather you not see, is him one of the top fraggers. It's good that he holds his own. Like, that's fine. And I would say that Red Snake isn't quite doing that. He's a little below par, but I'd rather have someone else going off on the Reason side to allow someone like Hoodlum, hopefully, to not have to step up individually as well as in-game lead. There should be someone kind of put into that role, whereas I guess some in-game leaders, you listen to the, you know, I guess, the man who's claimed the entirety of the UK CS scene, Henry G, who now just says it, you know, as his minions, essentially. You know, he liked to put himself in the better positions as an in-game leader. He'd put himself there to do better, and he'd allow everyone else to play around him. And it can work. We've seen Happy does it, I guess, to a degree, or he used to. I don't know if you can apply that as working anymore. I don't think it quite does. But yeah, it's a theory. It may not be a good one, but for now, it's getting Reason back into the game, whether you like it or not. They are very much back at the door now. Team Infused on 13. It feels like they've been that way forevermore. Now, smokes, mollies galore for Reason Gaming. They've got everything to work with. Aaron trying to make something happen, but Trial's the only one to really land much in the end. And now we just have those pistols left.
Yeah, want to make sure that there's no way they can retrieve any weaponry from the top of mid. So I'm hoping they throw away the AK that was just dropped. Although, no, it's actually still there. But they do have the AWP watching, just in case anybody does go and try and grab it. FAMAS been picked up, but no armor behind it, so it's, well, somewhat useless. We'll see if he can do any damage with it at least. But this is the equalization round for Reason now. After being quite far down, even losing that second round in this first half, which looked like it should put the game to bed, they've turned things around. And it's going to be Infused on the back foot, and their CT side so far hasn't looked good.
No, it really hasn't. Their money's been completely atrocious. They've struggled to get back into it, but there's the rifle recovered. Red Snake's got that. Don't know how much use it is with him, of course, but it's a nice bit of decoration. That kid. Right, sadly, nothing to work with. Trying to find maybe a little exit kill here or there. Not going to get it, sadly, for himself. But for Reason Gaming, keeping 4 alive at this point is, again, great. Their money's going to go, you know, incredibly strong. They're already in a good position. You see 7K sitting on Cray there. So he's already looking pretty solid in this one. And there you go. Money's going to be put into a lovely spot. Starting to sit at 10K, 8K. And for Infused, they can fashion a buy finally. But, again, still going to be far weaker than what Reason can bring to this. Oh, we've got the sit down. Here it is. Okay, here's the thing. It's all good and well that a coach can get hyped up, but when they go silent and they sit down behind you and they look more mardy than you do...
I think the blue light doesn't help either. It's almost like mood lighting. just like, he's now unhappy.
But it's like when you have emotional players as well, but we can come back to that in a second because it looked like Reason wanted a faster play but got denied by the utility put towards ramp. Hoodlum kind of swatted away from this, and you're going to see a couple of players now lining up, getting back over to this one. And we saw this attempted before with the pistols, but it didn't really work out. That ramp stack I think the CZ got the kill towards Palace, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Now, a different look coming in from Reason here, falling away from this. But again, buy against buy round, they do like to play this very passive, slower approach.
Well, I think the big thing for them in the last few rounds is that they've done stuff like this. Like they've gone aggressive originally, and then we've seen a lot of utility thrown out, and by the time we get down to, say, last 30, 20 seconds, there's not a whole lot left for Infused to play with, and that's where Reason have just been thriving. They've been doing so well in the sort of late round clutches. I think they've won almost every single one, even with low HP, and they've rotated back around. Now, this sort of close setup, the bait and switch that they did before, did work quite well. They did some damage. It was the AWP of Fry that actually did most of it. A little bit of utility thrown out now. It's still got a bit left, actually. They've held onto it quite well. They've got a couple of smokes, still an incendiary, which can be great for either slowing them down or for a retake, but, well, the Incendiary's gone now.
Aaron should hear this as well, so they should be more than ready to receive. He should have heard everything coming his way. He's turned, though. He's waiting for this. The flashes are good towards ramp, and this time the connection is there. Cray's going to find Fry, but already you can see the shutdown. Aaron gets away with murder. 3 kills, all picked up. Rifle back in hand, but he knows it's there for later, as Cray's going to make his way in through connector. And the problem is the bomb's down in an awkward spot. 2 players take down CT, and finally a break back in.
Oh, he's back.
He's standing up.
He's back, okay. It's all good now. And
the various moods of Neil.
Yeah, that is also quite a common thing. I think it was actually Reese from Face who mentioned it, that when you equalize, a lot of the time it's the team that were originally winning who actually then go and take a round. I don't know if that's a thing or whether it's just coincidence, but yeah, Team Infused actually get themselves 14-13 up, but the rebuy is good. And remember the reset, because if they lose this next round and not streak anything together, Team Infused could be throwing away the game based on money alone.
Would be a solid GG. And a lot of bullets spent towards that smoke. Absolutely no one in there, but mid-control looking to be vied for this time for Reason.
Yeah, the switch up, something we didn't see on the other side. Fry, when he does have that AWP, likes to take different spots. We've seen him in B-apps. We've seen him go peek into connector, and now he has that short push and finds them the first kill as well. Important stuff. Cinder looking ready to try and find the trade. Now, we had someone in this exact corner, Aaron, in the last round, so they should check it. And we'll see whether or not Trials can get them a double down or if Cinder is going to be there to trade. Or nothing.
The thing is, he gets early information. That's just as important here. Trials can say, okay, yeah, they've shown presence, but no one pushed. So as much as Cinder's intention was there to keep players maybe dedicated towards A or maybe pull some players off of B towards it, if anything now, because the timing's offset, they're going to maybe put an additional over there. So MTK's going to actually head over towards B. Now they've got 3 players. Nice shot from Karma, though. Opens up opportunity now. Fry already going to be in a little bit of trouble here. MCK, though, keeping it together. Hoodlum and Cray go down, but Karma again strikes.
Yeah, he's managed to get himself a couple in this round, but they need to do more, and they've got 20 seconds left to play with. Karma peeks out. He gets another, and one more from Cinder. It's all on to Aaron. 15 seconds left on the clock. Not going to be able to deny the plant, but holds the angle, gets the first and the second as well. Aaron's going to win them the round, and just about for Infused.
What a time for Aaron to really start hitting shots. You know, I've got to say, I was a bit of a critic of him earlier. He was having a quieter game. He didn't quite build into it. But then, the last couple of rounds, when it's mattered, that close push on ramp, he gets 3 kills. This round, this clutch, I didn't think he was going to hit that last shot, if I'm completely honest, but he did. He made it count when it matters. 15-13 now. It's not over yet, bear in mind. Reason can still do so much damage here. They sadly are only on the take line on Mace, but everyone else is sitting pretty nicely, and Karma, you've been hitting those shots up till this point, maybe starting to feel a little bit frustrated, annoyed, landing a couple of missed moments, and it's Trials this time up in that spot.
So, same as last round. Aggressive peek in, flashbang's good. He'll get himself the first and just falls back. They're going to throw in the smoke. Not going to allow for any chance for a trade, and that's the second round in a row now where a very early pick has come in for Infused. Just going to play off of that man advantage. Now, it did turn in the previous round, not to forget. It had to come down to the heroics of Aaron. But at the same time, we need to see how Reason are going to get themselves back in. At the moment, still in that more default style of round, just holding back, hoping that somebody from Team Infused will go aggressive once again. But once you have that man advantage, there's absolutely no reason to.
Now the fake is thrown. Now, last time this fake came out was from Cinder, and he didn't really push actually in towards it, so he never kept the players here. Currently, if this goes to plan, it's just going to be Red Snake, the player who's not been on point so far. The player who's been very quiet. He's going to have 3 players possibly coming his way. You can see Hoodlum here, selling it well. Fry already falls. Any more's just brilliant. That's perfect.
They've rotated everyone.
And yet, look at this. Why is Red Snake leaving? You haven't seen the bomb. You've only seen one man, and you know it. There's not even been utility. Get back to B. Suddenly, Red Snake realizes what might be happening. He's going to hear it all coming down, and if he'd waited a second longer, that could have been the bomb, but now mistakes are made. Cinder's been allowed in. That bomb plant's going to come through.
Yeah, great work from Hoodlum, but an awful read from Infused. That is a big mistake. Hoodlum actually gets away with that. MCK goes down, and well, it leaves 2 players to hold on to their weaponry. The last round was costly, of course. Only 1 man survived. And yeah, that is the face of a man who's not happy with the decisions of the last round.
No, absolutely no reason. Overcommitted to that sort of thing, and it's easy to do it. Of course, you panic. You're on match point. Want to get the win. Want to be in the right place. Don't want to be awkwardly left out to play retake as one man against whomever is left. But without seeing the bomb, without seeing any more than one player, it's just an overstep. It's an overreaction, and it's a window back in for Reason.
We actually saw the same over on Inferno as well, where they got closer and closer to that sort of match point, and they actually end up just having the problem of over-rotating. That last time it wasn't quite as bad. It was more that they didn't expect the players on B, but that was a mistake coming out from them, and, well, that's the result. The economy has taken a massive hit. They're going to just have to try and cheese their way through this round. Interested to see Aaron actually on the ult, but I think it's based on his position. Going to try and find that early pick on connector. Now, they have got it in the last 2 rounds, but this time there is nobody to find.
Reason again going for that slower default. Don't mind it, quite like it. Keeping Cray over towards B denies any push-up coming out and early information for the CTs. Keeping the 2 towards top mid allows, again, a good control on anyone trying from the defending side pushing up and finding any information as to where they're going or getting quick kills. They're in a better position for it. And Hoodlum again, finding room to move. Good off angle, though, held by Trials. He was holding this for a while. It's a nice one as well. You can adjust. You find safety pretty much everywhere. It's not the first angle people check on, but here's the response. Reason starting to look for opportunities in towards middle. And for Infused, that kill there is absolutely vital, considering they're still working with 2 pistols on board.
Well, that's the big thing. There's no option for a trade on that kill. They can just go and retrieve the rifle. They haven't, as of yet. That's definitely something that could pay dividends later in the round. We're seeing a bit of a rotation. Concentration face. Tense.
Where is Trials at this point? I want to see what position he's working with. Okay.
Back. Default.
It's a little tricky because if there's a player in Palace, you kind of get screwed. You can lock yourself off from one, but then you can be pushed by the other. There is support in the form of Aaron, but if he peeks up too far, he could be in trouble. But I think he's now spotted the plan. He's seen what's happening. The Molly's going to come in. It's Trials who might need to control all this. Great work from MCK, though. Craig goes down. It's all looking a little bit worrying. Karma, Jiggle peeks the corner. Doesn't give it all away for free, but Trials, again, does so much for his side. But the strike back is coming in. It's Mace and Karma. They're down to 10 seconds.
So the bomb will be planted. That's a big thing for them. They're going to be able to play at least from after plants. You got MCK picking up that rifle. Red Snake has a 5.7, but they don't have a kit. So they've got to move very quickly. Nice shot from MCK, and Karma's on a rotation here. He's trying to get back round to ramp, and they have actually found a kit as well. I think this may all be over. A defuse comes in, and Infused, they steal it at the end. The sort of force buy that comes out from them is just about enough.
That was incredibly close. And again, I've got to say, credit where it's due. Trials, to me, that guy was second to none. When it's mattered, and Aaron as well. Aaron got them back on point. It felt like Infused fell off for quite some time. Reason started to deliver. We saw great play again from some of the guys on that Reason side, even though they didn't really have reason to. They shouldn't have been that team able to get there. But, you know, Hoodlum, an in-game leader, was one of your heavy fraggers, pulling off crazy fakes and making Infused completely baffled as to what's going on. But overall, I've got to say, some of the individuals for Infused thoroughly impressed me.
Yeah, I think Fry on the first map, especially with that AWP, was very impressive. And when he got it on the second map as well, we saw him get some aggressive peaks going. But I think it does come down to Trials and Aaron. I think that clutch was so crucial. It stopped their reset of economy. We saw the same coming in from Trials as well, close. So just a very impressive stuff.
But let's bear in mind, this is a Reason Gaming without their full 5, and they had a very close game. So credit to them for pulling this to where it was. With what they had to work with, we've seen a lot from them. So I can imagine there's a lot to be said about this game. It's been a good time casting with you so far. I think we've got some more games coming up later, and we'll get to that in a moment's time. But for now, let's head back to the desk to see how smug some of the analysis are, because they actually got the prediction right.
Pansy, Tom Biz, that was not a game for the faint-hearted in any way, shape or form. That was long, but we got a winner in the end. 16-14 to Infused. They win 2-0 in the end. Listen, we're going to go for a little quick break. When we come back, we'll get all the analysis from these two gentlemen next to me. That's these two right here next to me.